Yaparapapa. Yaparapa. Dapara. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Oh, phone. Shoot. Come on. Oh my gosh. Oh. I should post this on Tumblr for once. Ow. And maybe because it's not on Twitch, it'll actually show the video. I need to get my phone. Oh, or maybe I can have. Haha. I guess starting soon should be. Yeah, there we go. So I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Let's see. Give me a second. Nice.
Welcome to one of the worst things.
Sorry for that audio jump scare. I was trying to get things all set. Oh wait, I need my tablet actually. Oh, yep. Where's my glove? There it is. Okay. Hello. Even though you totally knew I was already here. Wait, where's the... Ah, right. Yoink. And then... Yellow. Time to animate. Woo! Cool. Alright. Now we watch this.
Welcome to one of the worst things I've ever subjected my eyes to. There's no good place to start, so why don't we quit while we're ahead? This was a terrible video idea. Actually, no, I refuse to suffer alone. Fairy Ranmaru is one of the most perplexing anime I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot. But as the magical girl expert, it's my job to watch the bad ones so you don't have to. And good God, with promotional material like this, you know it's gonna be a wild goddamn ride. So like, pretty clearly, this is a fan service anime. But there are so many layers to just how... Plot. What's the plot? I don't know. So there's some other fairy world that needs saving, and they pick one rando dude from each of the fairy tribes to go to Earth and gather attachment. What's attachment? How do they get it? Strong emotions, I think? I don't know. They end up saving some girl, and there's always a cartoonishly evil person that's causing said girl's problems, and then they kiss the girl in a weird gradient land, and magic happens. I can only describe their transformation scenes as revenge for all the magical girl media aimed at older audiences. The, I guess, morals are so baffling. Like, the fairies have these 10 rules they must follow, but then they break the rules in order to transform, I think. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And then they go into, like, a witch's lab. Wait, let me show you how formulaic this show is. So it's just another day of fairies being in disguise when the fairy being featured this episode runs into a girl with a problem. They hang out and the boys discuss something in their lavish bathtub on the roof.
This is one of my
I don't
earliest
know. Then the girl is confronted by her own personal Saturday morning cartoon villain. The girl is planning to give up, which signals the boy who is helping her to rush over. Kiss.
We're in a green void. I'm coming in.
Oh God, Raven
I'm coming in, baby. Get ready for it.
Transform, then a minute-long segment of the boy running through a sparkle field while an insert song plays. They get their wings, they fly. Labyrinth. The dude attacks the monster? I don't know. We're not told what this landscape is. We're not told anything. What is happening? But then they attack the wrong one, and then they get caught. Flashback to childhood. Bam, they escape. Defeat the monster. Attachment is gone and sent to the queen. Also, is there a modern art theme going on? I don't know. It is so utterly fascinating how there is so much going on, and yet absolutely nothing happens. Nothing of note or value happens. I don't even know these characters' names. I'm just waiting for them to form Voltron. This is truly the definition of a train wreck that you just can't look away from. I hate it. It's so horrifically bad. And there are some people who like it, and I kind of feel bad for them. Do you like it ironically, or is it just your thing? I hope you get better. I don't know. Here's some miscellaneous stuff. Why is the one butler dude just a normal looking guy? He doesn't even have pointed ears. How come blue bitch takes every chance to be antagonistic towards red guy? Why is this dude sleeping around 24/7? Why do they say they're gonna eat your heart? Like, the subtitle translated as save hearts, but what the characters say is itadakimasu, which you only say before a meal. So what the fuck, man? Why does this guy only ever make curry? Gay rights? Question mark? Seriously, what is up with this pose? Where are these fights happening? Is it another dimension? A mindscape? How come the others never help out? I hate it. The first
text was
So this
not
is the one you're sexualizing, the young one.
the one to go for.
I don't know.
He's not in shadow. Holy shit. So they are all in this world. They're physically here.
I think so.
And they can do something, but they never do.
I don't
They're
know.
just here to commentate.
I
Like
don't.
they're watching a Pokemon battle or something.
I really don't know, man. I don't know. What's with the small fairy creature they have, and why is it never directly addressed? They never say its name or talk about it. They just interact with it. But what is this? Some person was like, yeah, the director mentioned on Twitter, like, this is its name. It's called Bakun. All right, it's a tapir. Got it. But then somebody else was like, they do mention it. And I'm like, where, though? There's only 6 episodes out right now, and they're all the goddamn same. I don't... I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, dude. Holy shit. Bakun is the only good part of this anime. Also, by the way, the production value is garbage. They have vague senses of personality that
Don't even give me crap about being stiff. This whole entire anime is stiff.
It feels like a parody, but it's not. It's played straight as hell, which none of these boys are. Look how gaily I run! And the comparisons with cute High Earth Defense Club love are fair, but the key difference is that series was actually a parody that knew the tropes of magical girls and played around with them. This is just aiming to be a standard entry, and
the book.
There's so much, I can't even, oh my god.
Oh no, you're
Why
not
does
late at
his
all.
entire face change? I still don't get it!
You're not late at all, dude. I literally just started. Okay, let's see. What next? Because I did have an idea. Oh, I guess we can finish the High Guardian Spice video.
Like to point out.
Let's go back a
Wasn't
little bit.
hate at all. There was no
Oh my God, I ranted
harassment
a lot
campaign
here.
or anything. It was just actual people criticizing the show. Even gay and trans people were criticizing it. So there couldn't have been a right-wing hate campaign against it. Hey buddy, are you actually brain dead, or have you been lying for so long you've bought into your own bullshit? People were hating on High Guardian Spice before it ever released. Before there was even any footage of it. Buzzwords like forced diversity and feminist were thrown around as the sole justification for all the hate it got. And again, before the show was released. And then, once the show came out, you had hundreds of videos breaking apart every individual aspect of the show, and while there are legitimate reasons to criticize the series, no art is above criticism, a lot of these were either nitpicking or talking about how political the show was. Newsflash? Conservative is also just a normal word that can be used. The main propagators of High Guardian Spice hate were these people discussing the show in bad faith and basically being upset there's a trans person who says the word transgender. Gasp. I feel like Sarah Zed said it best in her video, Sacrificial Trash. It doesn't matter if there are people making good faith criticism alongside the unjustified hate.
I hate
Because
drawing
all of
books.
it will
I
be used
fucking
as
hate it
evidence
so much.
by those bad actors to say, see, it is super bad. We weren't being bullies.
Oh dear,
We're
why
just
do you
stating
have to hold
facts.
a book as your
And
weapon?
those thin-skinned...
Faux activists.
Seriously, dude,
Fucking
why did you
faux
say that
activists.
instead of what was written in the tweet you were
Every
reading?
time I think
Who
about
made
that,
the
I
show
lose
just
a
can't
couple of brain
handle it.
cells.
The most disgusting part of all of this is the weaponization of queer
What's your
people.
biggest YouTube pet
Just
peeve?
because
Mine
a
are
gay or
YouTube
trans
recommendations-
person
recommended
doesn't
me
like a
videos that I
show
don't
that
care for and
happens
deleted
to
or
also
private
be gay
videos
or
on YouTube
trans
playlists.
doesn't
My biggest YouTube pet peeve is clickbait. It's genuinely, honest to God, clickbait. It bothers me so fucking much. And I was telling Raven about that one day, and they were like, does it bother you because it's like competition? And it's that's not quite it. I think it's more like, because, like, I care about what I do. I really genuinely care about, like, what I make and stuff. So the fact that people are just like, like, and say the most sensationalist thing and whatever is, it annoys me, because it's like, do you not love what you're doing? Like, and so, but there's, like, a difference. Like Jaden Animation, her video about, like, oh, I was almost in Squid Game, that doesn't come off as, like, clickbait to me, because she goes on to, like, say, yeah, I did a Netflix Squid Game event, and then I was, like, a candidate to be in Squid Game The Challenge Season 2. And it's like, okay, yeah, like, so titling the video, I was almost in Squid Game, like, works. That's funny. It's a bit of a hyperbole, but that's also funny, and I've done that too. Such as, like, Utakata put me in the hospital. Because a lot of my anime reviews and stuff are, like, name of the show, how it made me feel. And I was like, you know what? This coincided with my, like, gallbladder removal and stuff, so I might as well play into that and use that as an expression of how vapid and boring the show was. Like, oh, it was so bad, it put me in the hospital. Like, but, like, I can't think of, oh god, there's this bit, I'm sure, I'm trying to remember, because there are some that really fucking bother me, dude, holy shit. Let's see, I'm trying to find, of course, now that I'm scrolling, like, I'm not gonna see anything that immediately pops out to me. But a lot of the time, it's, like, videos on, like, magical girls that bother me a whole lot, like, because the title says some fucking stupid shit, like, oh, Madoka is sad, and it's like, okay, buddy, have you come up with a new take or anything? Like, shut the hell up. Shut up. Oh, man. Let's see. I don't know. What the fuck is this? Annie Bro Isekai. A psycho girl rescues an abandoned girl and will do anything for her. Happy Sugar Life recap. And then recapped, and then it's 15:8. That kind of shit annoys the hell out of me. Yeah, dude, I totally get you there. It sucks when YouTube does just, like, private shit on your playlist. It's like, fuck. That's why you always gotta archive shit.
Automatically make their opinion objectively correct. It's their opinion. And the idea of someone saying, I'm queer and I didn't like this show, instead of just, I didn't like this show, feels like signaling to the hate mob that you're one of the good ones.
God, that black
I've
screen,
seen
one of the
videos
good
titled
ones, is
things
so
like This show makes
Pretentious.
me embarrassed to be bisexual, or trans people watch High Guardian Spice so you don't have to, and it's just self-tokenization. So yeah, everything Hirohei stated in this video is provably false. Not that he really stated much of anything, considering this video was just him mockingly reading someone's tweets and then reading other people's tweets and calling that news. Also, by the way, this quote in the thumbnail is not a
She,
quote
like,
from
kinda
Ray
goes
or
up.
anyone. It's just something to make his audience of bigoted ex-gamergaters
no, I gotta
seethe and
finagle
continue the
with
hate
that.
campaign. Hirohei is one of the most disingenuous, self-absorbed assholes online. I could say more, but unlike this guy, I don't like being hateful just for the sake of being hateful. Virtus Joe has some good videos on it though, I recommend it. I was also gonna talk about Guardian HQ as well, who quite literally started his channel shitting on the show, but honestly, his videos are so boring. I could barely get through one, even at 2 times speed. He says that High Guardian Spice
videos
has
were so
redundant
genuinely
dialogue, but
fucking
bro
boring,
will
dude. Holy
spend
shit.
5 minutes saying the exact same thing over and over again. This guy doesn't seem actively malicious, just kind of following the hate train. He recently posted a new High Guardian Spice abridged episode, but man, I don't care. It is at this point that I would like to make an observation. Stay with me here. X-Arm is another infamously terrible show that also happens to be a Crunchyroll original. I haven't watched it personally,
You know
but
what?
I mean,
should actually.
you can see the issues already. From what I've heard, it was created by a group of people who haven't worked in animation before. Everyone clowned on
Making
this
Lois
series.
scene.
How can you not?
Yes, no,
This is
High Guardian
impressively
Spice
bad.
is
Something
totally a
that
magical
could
girl
only
show.
be created by a bunch of live-action film directors who think they know better than the entirety of the animation industry. But there's something different about the show that I would like to point out. Who talks about it? Sure, plenty of videos were made on the show when it came out. It was the hot topic for a while. But a couple months after it was released, all of that stopped. People made their jokes and reviews and moved on. And in those jokes and reviews, there weren't deeply personal attacks on the staff of the show. To my knowledge, no one harassed the team behind X-Arm and called them the death of anime. But that happened with High Guardian Spice. People said it was, quote, everything wrong with Western animation, and basically acted
Oh,
as
shoot,
if it
I
was a
should. Give me a
herald of
second.
destruction for the entire industry. And like, seriously, you're calling this the death of animation and not this? People look at
I
X-Arm
still
and
stand
laugh,
by that.
but then they move on. High Guardian Spice, on the other hand, was an epic fail that had people making videos on it years later. These shows were not given the same treatment despite seemingly similar-ish origins. Why? I have my own guesses as to why, though. If you want to talk about the politics of the show, there isn't really much to talk about. There's a lesbian couple just hanging out and a few trans characters, but there isn't really a big statement made about either of those things. Anais and Aloe just sort of vibe, and Caraway and Snapdragon are there to earnestly tell a
color
personal story.
references.
Again, most of the criticisms these people make are just blatantly untrue.
I need.
One of which is that this show hates men. The evidence? The lack of male characters, I guess. Ignoring the blacksmithing teacher, the martial arts teacher, Parnell, Slime Boy. Maybe because the show mainly focuses on girls? Also, how can you say that a show hates men when there is a character who literally, like, chose to become a man? That logic doesn't track. Then they say the show hates anyone who isn't trans?
Dang it.
So you mean, like, a majority of the cast? It's astonishing how out of all the named characters, just because 2 are confirmed to be transgender, suddenly the show is about being trans or something? I don't think this show has any explicit messages aside from the personal stories that it's telling. I feel like it's more critical towards women than anything. In episode 6, Sage and Snapdragon are paired up, and Sage keeps going on and on about Rosemary having a crush on this new kid, much to Snap's annoyance. Sage says that the bond between girls is deeper, that friendships between girls are somehow inherently different than friendships between guys. And that's a pretty toxic idea, and is presented as such. Now, part of Snap's frustration is the fact that she was repeatedly being referred to as a guy, and she was still figuring stuff out about herself. But what Sage was saying is still really uncool, and the show does not justify that for a moment. Honestly, in a show about warriors and adventurers, there are a lot of chances to explore gender and gender presentation.
I'll get back
Later
to
on,
animating.
when
I'm just putting
Snapdragon is
together a
opening
little
up to
reference
Caraway,
sheet.
she says she doesn't want to be strong like her father, big and buff and muscly. She wants to be strong like the girls, graceful and beautiful. I think there are a lot of interesting ideas to be explored here. It's just a matter of actually being able to explore them. There are also a lot of comments in various places saying how you can find better written stuff on YouTube and with independent projects, and this rubs me the wrong way. I want to specifically shout out the animatics done by Jamie D. Young. These are short rewrites of scenes or little additions that are really well done and are really heartfelt. They make me smile so much. But the comments of the videos go right back to that vitriolic and almost hateful attitude towards the show. There's this idea of, wow, these professionals can't do better than independent creators who are making much better work for free. And that speaks to a fundamental lack of understanding in how animation productions actually work. These animatics were created by a single person, yes. Are they arguably done better than the actual series? Yeah. But it was not done for free. Jamie D. Young took time out of her day to create this. She did not have to go through anyone else to get the scene checked or revised. This was done out of passion, and she had all the time in the world to figure out the best way to present the idea. But when you're working with a studio, you can't do that. You don't get all the time in the world to refine and perfect a scene. These creative teams have deadlines and, as previously stated, a small budget. And you know what? I'll actually defend the transgender scene. Is this the best way to write and introduce a trans character? Yeah. I don't know. Probably not. There's definitely better ways to do this.
No, the High Guardian Spice hate was just all
to set up Snapdragon's
total
story
bullshit.
and resolution. Okay, here's the context behind this infamous scene. Professor Caraway asked Rosemary to come to his office to discuss her education path or something. It's here that he reveals he went to school alongside Rose's mother.
Now I'm back.
And shows her pictures of their time together. Rose sees those pictures and asks who the person next to her mother is. That's me, Caraway says. You were a girl? Rose questions.
I'm transgender.
Caraway explains how he takes magical HRT once a month, and Rosemary responds with, "Whoa, that's so cool," and the scene moves on.
It's true, it moves on.
Is it a little forced? Maybe. But does that ruin the entire show? It really shouldn't. I've seen some rewrites of this scene that only vaguely imply that Caraway is trans. That's one of the reasons why I like the animatics from Jamie so much. Her rewrite of this scene does not remove the explicit explanation of Caraway being trans, and in fact, expands upon it. The main complaint of this scene is that a character looks at the camera and says, "I'm transgender." Because wow, that's so unsubtle. Subtext is an amazing and powerful literary tool, but queer characters were only subtext in stories until now because they literally weren't allowed to be just text. Just because a gay or trans or whatever other story says the word gay or trans or whatever doesn't automatically make it bad. I want to highlight the words of Julia Kay,
the sappy
the voice
music
actor for
too.
Snapdragon.
Fuck. God.
I just
Why
still
was I
think
so
it's
pretentious
so wild
with
I got
this?
to voice a character in a cartoon
Oh my god, looks
who
like
talks about
he got
suffering from gender
squished.
dysphoria in such a direct way.
Let's see.
Trans characters talking about being trans without having to dance around the issue or address it through metaphor.
Also, it's Pride Month. That's why I
Incredible.
mentioned my
It
sexuality.
is
and gender.
important to
Hell
note
yeah.
that Julia Kay is a trans woman, and series creator Ray Rodriguez is a trans man.
What is?
Subtext is great, but sometimes
Ugh.
people want to see themselves without the veil.
Why the fuck did I say it like that? God damn. What the fuck is this layer? There's nothing on this layer. Why do I
I
have
try
it?
my best with my videos because I want to make sure
Delete.
that my thoughts
Why
are
the
properly
fuck?
conveyed while also being entertaining.
Maybe I
This
should
specific
fucking
video, I've
name
been
my
especially hard
layers.
on myself in the process of writing and researching for it because there's so much
Character
to
refs.
unpack. When I talk about media, I always want to make sure what I'm saying
Yeah, when
is
it's Pride Month,
reasonable.
when
I
it's
want
Pride
to make
Month,
sure
you
my
have to
critical thinking
state
skills
your
and analysis of
sexuality
the
and
things
gender.
I enjoy aren't knee-jerk
I was about to say
reactions.
sexuality and
Even
gender
with shows
orientation,
that I
which I guess
dislike,
still works.
I want to understand why. I want to make sure there's a difference between what I create and cartoon reviewer number 280. High Guardian Spice is undoubtedly a flawed show. Character writing is inconsistent. The
Hey,
world
look at me, it's
contradicts
criticizing
itself,
the
and
show.
the animation leaves a lot to be desired. If people don't like this show after giving it a fair shot, that is reasonable. But while laughing at all of its faults, I think it's important to remember that people really did care about this project. There are people who worked to make this show what it is. I can't remember where I heard this quote, but every movie is a miracle. No matter how bad something is on a technical level, it's still miraculous it was made at all. Even if High Guardian Spice was as bad as some people say it is, it did not deserve the treatment it was given, and Ray Rodriguez certainly did not deserve to be called a spineless coward over and over again for
That
blocking
video
people
fucking title
constantly
and thumbnail.
harassing him.
Seriously, it's
I'm
so
adding this in
infuriating.
later because I realized I was still too nice to the people who hated on this show.
I was.
Now, I'm not saying that everyone who made a High Guardian Spice video are hateful assholes, because it was a popular thing to hate and everyone gets roped into that kind of stuff now and then. I'll admit I have. But the people who made it, their goddamn mission to rag and shit on every aspect of this show are the utter scum of the internet. The people who made video after video after video about this series are either bigoted dickwads or too stupid to realize they've joined a right-wing hate movement. If you're the kind of person who's triggered by diverse media, that's your goddamn problem. The people who started their channels hating on this show are the lowest of the low, because how insecure and pathetic do you have to be to create your entire online persona around hating a fucking cartoon? These people do not care about animation.
They
do
really
not
don't.
care about the art or the quality or the voice acting or anything. They just hate that the colorful cartoon on their anime waifu streaming service says the word transgender and was made by women. Again, I was still too nice before. I don't need to ask why did they hate High Guardian Spice, because I already know. They hate it because they hate women. They hate it because they hate queer people. They hate it because they're just hateful. And again, I am not saying that everyone who even slightly criticizes the show is a bigot, racist, misogynistic, whatever. Because I will be the first to admit this is not the best show in the universe. But the people who make mild criticisms also move the fuck on. They don't obsess over this series for literal years. I want to make sure I am being careful and clear with my words. When I say they, I am explicitly referring to people on the internet who complained about High Guardian Spice, not because of the many valid criticisms you can throw at the show.
Yeah, because
but
you
because
can't
it
criticize
was
it
woke.
because it was
Because it was
bad.
feminist.
But, like, woke
because
isn't
it was unsubtle for having a trans person
fucking
acknowledge
criticism.
the fact they
Hello.
are trans. Because that is the baseline for a majority of the hate this show got. If it wasn't for all of that, this show would have been forgotten and nobody would care. But because it was released on Crunchyroll, and because the first trailer primarily advertised it as, wow, diversity, women, this became a target, and that is the main reason why it has the reputation it does. And I mean all of this in the most nuanced way possible, and I pray that is coming through. If it wasn't for the platform this show was released on, it would be completely
everyone knows
unremarkable.
High Guardian
The
Spice,
Western
if it was
anime culture
on
isn't exactly best at
a different
you
platform,
know,
it's fine.
thinking.
But yeah.
Literally just this year,
The
Crunchyroll
fact-
got rid of all comments on the website because people were being stupidly transphobic on senpai is an otokonoko.
I like that. That's the most baffling thing to me.
Stupidly transphobic on senpai is an otokonoko.
That's the most baffling thing, because like one of the talking points around High Guardian Spice 2 was that, oh, Crunchyroll said they would be like giving revenue to the animators in Japan so that they can create more things, and they were mad that like it was spent on a cartoon that they didn't like, you know, whatever. But then a Japanese show from a Japanese studio, animated by people who lived in Japan, like, had queer things, and people were like, this woke shit, blah, 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 and it's like, you know trans people exist in Japan too, right? No, of course not. Japan is the last powerhouse against woke feminism, or whatever the fuck they're saying these days. Like, and it's incredible. Like, I'm sorry that a slightly more conservative culture changes and has like growth, because we live in like a global society and ideas spread, and people from Japan were like, you know, maybe gay rights. And but like that's not even an explicitly like, oh, ideals going around type thing, because like fucking gay people have existed in Japan for a long ass time. They have a long and storied history of male on male erotica. Like, come on, fucking get your historical facts right. Edogawa Rampo, you motherfucker. Like, come on. So it's really just, let's see, how do I punch? So it's like, but I guess, no, but that doesn't look right. It's just incredible. It's one thing to not like the show, but hating on a show that has LGBT plus representation is just wrong. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you hate High Guardian Spice because, like, you think it's a bad show, like, who the fuck cares? Bro, it's a cartoon, I'll live. But, like, and what I say, what, like, within the title, like, High Guardian Spice wasn't that bad, you freaks, was because people genuinely did treat it like the anime industry was going to crumble at its feet. And it's like, buddy, it's one cartoon, and also, you're saying, I still stand by the X-Arm comparison, because somebody was like, oh, you can't compare High Guardian Spice and X-Arm, because X-Arm is based on a manga that had, like, a pretty decent story. And one, it's a fucking Ghost in the Shell ripoff. And two, like, I'm sorry, if we're talking about the death of anime, I think a group of live-action writers and directors coming into the anime studio industry and saying, we know better than you, is more indicative of the death of anime. Like, fucking come on. There's a fucking difference. Jesus Christ.
Cool. I feel like High Guardian Spice is what happens when you're forced to publish a first draft. The core concepts are there, and there's talented people who want to
I
bring
don't know what
those
the fuck I'm
concepts
doing
to
with this
life.
frame.
But at the end of the day, they didn't have the resources to flourish. Along with lack of financial support, the crew had to deal with harassment for the crime of having an all-female writer's room and saying the word transgender. I asked people what they thought of this show, and a lot of the responses I got were similar to how I feel. Love for the character designs, interest for the ideas presented,
Okay, that's better.
sadness for the potential that was lost. And most importantly, the hate was unwarranted. I feel like opinions on this show have become more positive in recent years. I say years, but it's only been like 2. But that's only when it gets brought up at all. But for the most part, it's faded out
don't
of
like-
public
wait.
consciousness. Which sadly might be for the better, if only because it doesn't give jerks online more material to hate. I like High Guardian Spice. It is a flawed show, yes. But it is
Yeah.
one that has heart.
Fucking
For all
me
of its
constantly
faults in animation or
giving
clunky writing,
criticisms of
I
High
can
Guardian
feel
Spice, and
the
people are like,
people
Cake of the
behind it
Muse,
doing
saying
their
it's
best.
the best anime
To
ever. It's
me,
like, I literally never
that's
said those
worth
words. What the fuck are you talking about?
I doubt that Ray
Stupid
Rodriguez
motherfuckers.
or anyone else who worked on the show will ever see this video, much less see it to the end. I imagine they've seen enough High Guardian Spice critiques to last a lifetime, and they're sick of it. However, I still want to say this. You did not deserve the harassment you got. You did the best you could do with what you were given, and you should be proud of what you made. At the very least, your efforts made me and a bunch of other people smile. So thank you. Also, somehow, miraculously, if there ever is a season 2 and you need a new VA, I'd be down to clown. Hit me up. Anyway, while doing research for this video, I saw this Draw Your Own Guardian OC on Twitter. So, here's my High Guardian Sona.
Yeah.
My name is still Cake. I guess I would be on, like, the Battle Mage track? Battle Alchemist? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna be using what little ad revenue I get from this video to buy the stickers from Ray's Etsy. Hell yeah!
Not caring, for being untalented, being faux activists, being faux activists, faux activists, faux activists.
Fucking loser. I love that edit way more than I really should, but it's funny and also true. Right, wait, actually, let me talk about my theory as to why, while reading, like, okay, let me talk about my theory as to why, while reading Ray Rodriguez's tweets about, like, why High Guardian Spice is the way it is, he changed the word SKWs to faux activists. Oh, thank you! It's kind of based on my Hero Academia, Sona. Oh, yeah, I think just having that one frame, too, is a bit better, even if it's super loose right now. But, okay, so, the theory. So, like, to Hirohei, like, he can't say SKWs. He can't use the term social justice warriors, because at that point in time, SKW was, like, it had passed any legitimate usage it's given, and it had the air of, like, oh, anyone who uses this is automatically, like, kind of a jackass who doesn't care about anything. So, he couldn't say that. Hello? Oh, I thought you said something.
No,
Hi!
I didn't. Acknowledge me.
I don't know, I thought you said something. Anyway,
I
look
really
at him.
I sneak in, he punch.
Yeah, and then, wow. This is literally the best drawing of Sifrin I've ever done. Yeah. Anyway, but so he can't say the word SKW because for some reason, I don't fucking know. But so he replaces it. You know, fast fashion, conservative terminology is kind of like, yeah, fast fashion. But so he can't say SKW even though he's reading the fucking tweet from another person. He's fucking quoting them. He can't say it because that gives credibility to the fact that what he's doing is kind of shitty. So he uses the term faux activist because to him, anybody who complains about anything online is just a faux activist. They're pretending to care about something that they don't actually care about. So when, like, Ray Rodriguez says, yeah, like, we were criticized in this production for being SJWs, to him, it's like, no, I have to say faux act. Like, it's I'm kind of explaining it a little badly, but the main point is, like, to Hirohei, if you believe in anything, you're a fucking loser, man. If you feel strongly about compassion and people and the world around you, you're a loser, and you should feel bad about that. Like, at first it was moral relative or something, then it was like SJW, and then it was woke, and now it's DEI. But all of them describe people or things they dislike. Literally, yes. Well, and so the social justice warrior thing did come from, like, people on Tumblr, I think, genuinely calling themselves that. But guess what? Those were cringe 15-year-olds on Tumblr.com. Like, that's not real activism or anything. Like, it's just, that's just fucking 15-year-olds trying to do gay activism when they don't know anything. Like, and, like, it comes from a good place, but that part's never acknowledged, of course. And also, it's just a fucking insult. Who cares? God, I'm really sad that that comic thing that I think DC was gonna do about, like, those, like, it was, like, it really came off as, like, this is gonna be the most diverse story ever, and there was, like, Safe Space, and, what were the other guys? Oh, and Snowflake,
God, I remember that.
yeah, wait, what were the other ones named?
No, I think it was. I don't remember the rest of them, but I remember those two.
Well, yeah, because they were twins and also black, and people made jokes about how there would be, like, I don't fucking know. DC, wait, Snowflake superhero. Come on, hit me up.
That sucks.
No, but, like, I thought they were cool. It could have been really cool. No, not Snowflame. Who the fuck? That's a fucking stupid ass. Snowflame? Fuck off. Yeah, what were they called? What? I can't remember what it was for. Marvel's New Warriors. Marvel? Huh. Okay. No? Okay. And because, like, some of these designs did kind of fuck. Like, I mean, the Snowflake and Safe Space, they just looked boring and monotone and whatever. What was, oh yeah, the girl, what was her name? Screen Time? Wasn't one of them named Screen Time? Yeah. Like, she looks kind of cool. I'm not showing it on stream. 1 second. Fuck. Fucking, we just have SJW. Safe Space and Snowflake, I think. Yes. Wait, I'm just... Trailblazer. Yo, that's kind of sick. Wait, oh god, let me get a different... give me a second. Give me a second. Joshua Joseph? No. Okay, I was about to... oh god, I thought it was Garchomp Johnson for a second. God, if Garchomp Johnson, like, appeared, I would be over the fucking moon. Genuinely. I'd be like, yo, is that Garchomp Johnson? Yeah, the internet fat-shamed the character design and it bummed me out. Yeah, okay, wait, yeah, give me a second. I have to... Window capture, add source. God, I'm fucking hot. Holy shit. Let's see. Window capture. No. Distraction. No. Fuck. No. No, add new source. wait. Window capture Firefox. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh fuck, I clicked on something else. No. Okay, but like, he looks cool. This design kind of like, I would say a couple more drafts needed, but like, he looks cool. Screen time. This Ben 10 looking motherfucker. Like, he looks cool. He looks cool. A meme I think that's where they lost it. Meme obsessed super teen whose brain became connected to the internet after being exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
What? What does that mean?
Well, so here's the thing, that like people were saying that's stupid and stuff. By the way, hello, roommate Raven.
I am here.
Friend of the channel.
Happen to be here at this time.
But like, dude, all fucking superpower origin stories are stupid.
But what
like,
the hell is internet gas?
I don't know what internet gas is, but it's funny, and also he looks cool.
He does look cool.
Objectively.
Like cyberpunk.
I remember calling one of the characters looked like Dora. That would be her. And Trailblazer's cool. Like,
That is cool.
magic backpack that's a pocket dimension with seemingly infinite space. That's really
It
cool.
also looks very Ben 10.
She claims to get her power from God, but not the God you're thinking of. That's funny. And in the Marvel world, where there are, canonically, the Asgardian gods, that makes sense.
Maybe more. Imagine.
And then these two, who were the main just source
God, what?
of everything. They look bad. Like the gimmick aside, they just fucking look bad.
Yeah.
And I think the people made the incest joke because of this. Like, and that is a little weird.
Who's the bisexual vampire?
To be honest, Spider-Man got bitten by a radioactive spider, I don't think. Yeah, that's true. Oh, hey, look, boyfriends.
Why is that there?
I have no idea. So, like, radioactive spider giving you spider powers, I think we can excuse internet gas.
No.
Oh, yeah, here's B negative.
Hell yeah.
No, this dude fucks. A teen living vampire. Oh, God, it's Morbius.
Yeah, well, he's a vampire already.
Yeah, whatever. As a child in a rogue but life-saving medical procedure, he still ages like regular kids, but has all the abilities of Morbius. He's also obsessed with all the music and attitude of classic long past decades, like the 90s and 2000s.
Okay, they should have at least kept him.
Yeah, the world is a vampire, and so am I. It's funny. That's funny. Yeah, internet gas is a bit of a stretch. I think Marvel used B negative in something Blade related after this got canceled. Good.
I'm so glad because this one deserves to stay.
Because he fucks, dude.
That one is genuinely good.
New Warriors 2020, yeah. These two just need another draft, all right?
It's the insistence upon them all being like, you know, like Gen Alpha internet shit.
I mean, yeah, but
Trailblazer is just like legitimately cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, her backpack is Ben 10.
Screen time, fine.
Fuck you.
Snowflake in safe space.
These two are what
Are
killed
you
everything.
kidding me?
These two killed everything.
Yeah, because it's terrible.
It is, and also their designs are objectively the fucking worst.
Well, yeah, because they're boring.
They are
They're
boring.
literally just carbon copies of each other, but ooh, the colors are switched.
Yeah, because the
Isn't
girls
that so
in
fucking progressive.
the girl is in blue and the boy is in pink. Clap.
Please clap.
Please clap. That's how it felt. But I'm sure, here's the thing, I'm sure that the people behind this, like, some of them were probably like,
There had been some
no,
earnest
there was,
attempt
like,
here.
this guy?
That's just cool.
That's cool. This dude,
That rocks.
fuck yeah. Trailblazer?
Could've
Hell
been
yeah.
better, but good.
Yeah, no, he could probably use another draft, too.
It's the colors.
Yeah, the colors are so
They clash so much.
blinding. The fucking Ben 10 backpack,
It
though.
really is. It's just like the
Trailblazer wants to
ghost
help
guy.
people, but she doesn't think of herself as a superhero yet. Marvel Universe is a reflection of her own. When a new law gets put into place, it affects people in unforeseen ways.
Ooh.
That's cool!
Okay, whatever that means.
And then this guy, The word screen time is only ever used in a restrictive sense, and because of we're doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them. So with screen time, we like the idea he has infinite screen time. So I can see the vision, and I can see what they were thinking
I see the vision.
with these two.
Those ones, it did not work.
But it didn't work because it's
No.
like, as psychic twins, Snowflake,
Like, it's not the worst.
cryokinetic
thing.
can materialize snowflake-shaped shurikens. Safe space can materialize pink force fields, but he can't inhabit them himself. That's cool. That like he can make force fields, but he just can't be in them.
I think it's just that.
They're hyper aware of modern culture and optics, and they see their superheroics as a post-ironic meditation on using violence to combat bullying.
Okay, whatever
That's
that means.
stupid. That's fucking stupid. That's really stupid.
I think they just kind of leaned in it too
It,
hard.
in its idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory. They take those words and wear them as badges of honor.
So I
Nobody
I,
fucking does that.
I like it better, like, for safe space.
Yeah,
That's
safe
a fun-
space.
that's a
Is.
fun
And
one.
his, like, power to create, like, force fields and
Yeah,
barriers.
but
That's cool.
Snowflake is stupid.
Snowflake, you could have used a different word, honestly.
If it were
Any
not in-
other
if
ice.
If we're not in that context
Yeah.
specifically, like, that would be like boring, but fine.
The idea is
like-
that they mirror each other and complement each other, as
Sure,
all twin
whatever.
characters have to.
Sure, whatever. Oh man.
God, these.
That-
and then
that-
this
that
dude.
took me back. That's just genuinely good.
Yeah.
No, I forgot that these happened in 2020 of all
What the
times.
fuck? Oh my god. This was around the same time as High Guardian Spice, I think.
When it was like in development, I think.
Yeah. Well, people were still mad about High Guardian Spice just, like, existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then comes along this, and they're like, oh.
The problem is Snowflake is, like, an insult. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, like, they're trying to describe it as, like, they're like, we're gonna take those back. We're gonna wear them as a badge of pride. And
But
it's
that
like,
doesn't work
But
when.
that doesn't work when that's.
Yeah.
I think it's also, like,
I love.
not meta, but, like, the fact that you know that this is just manufactured to be, like,
Yeah,
this
it's
thing.
it is. It feels very. How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, really.
But, like, in the worst way possible. Why are there two different snowflakes? There are not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe there's a different snowflake.
I don't know.
I mean, again.
But
this
let's
is
see.
boring.
Let's see.
I don't know.
B
I don't know why
negative
you're
is a
talking about
goth
this.
kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers. B negative egg is like a regular person, or does he? And he definitely drinks blood, or does he? But, designer artist Lucano Vencio took brilliant inspiration from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon and gave B negative the leech suckers that the animated version of Morbius had on his palms.
Yeah, but those look gross.
Yeah, but it's cool. Fuck off.
I guess.
I
Whatever.
like him. All these guys, except for these two just needed, like, just literally anything else. Anything else would have been good. I fucking love, I'm sorry, I love meme-obsessed super teen. No,
I think out of all of them,
I
this one
unironically
should've
love that.
been something.
This guy's perfect.
Maybe just don't go with experimental internet gas as the superpower thing.
Well, no, okay, no, I can see if you're given
Just
time.
give him an Oculus or something.
No,
and
he
just keep
no,
him tied to the internet forever.
no, he has to. His brain needs to be connected to the internet at all times.
Yeah, he doesn't need gas to be able to do that.
Yeah, he does, because the gas could have had, because we never got to learn the stories, but the gas could have had, like, nanobots and stuff, and now those have, like, attached themselves into his bloodstream.
Okay, whatever. Don't give this more credit than it deserves.
This guy deserves all the credit. He's fucking cool.
He's alright.
I'll defend screen time.
Okay.
He's awesome. Safe space is kind of funny, however, especially if it's a strong character, because as funny as it sounds, there might be truth in it. Yeah. One is snow, the other's one is for the internet. Well, no, that's her brother, her twin, or whatever. I don't fucking know. Anyway. Anyway, right. So
I don't know how you got here.
I was talking about Hirohei, which was my first mistake.
Oh, right, you were talking about, like, SJW culture.
Yes, exactly. SJW culture.
Yeah, those are connected.
Yes.
I see it. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to punch him.
Punch Hirohei in his stupid fucking face.
Yeah.
I need a fan. Holy shit. I am hot. Oh my god.
Don't grab it.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Is the fan on? It is. Jesus.
It's on. Yeah.
Oh god. Why the fuck did we move to a desert?
Because it's gay.
It's unfortunately. God damn it. Why do queers love extreme weather conditions?
Speak for yourself, motherfucker.
You're from the fucking, like, Northwest. You don't get to say shit.
We don't have extreme weather conditions.
You have fucking, like, the old growth trees.
Yeah.
And,
That's not the same.
And humidity.
Uh-huh. It's not the same at all.
You fucking lived in a biodiverse haven.
That is true.
Yeah. Do we have water? I need more water.
Get
Jesus.
water.
God.
Get water.
Oh
idiot.
God,
You're
no,
all
the
heated up now.
the stream is still on the fucking
Fix it.
No, oh God, no, get them out of here. Get them out of here.
Make them leave.
No, there we
Put
go.
your video back.
Oh, my keys are on the ground. Holy shit, I'm hot. Do we have water?
Yes.
Oh, yay. Oh, chicken nuggets. There's so many chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I tried to open the thing, and it's normally got like a little Ziploc thingy. The Ziploc thingy wasn't working, so I'm like, I'm going to very carefully open it, and then it completely split in half.
Of course.
So that didn't work out well.
I don't know what that sound was, and don't ask me.
Strength. Something with will. The water. No, you can put it back.
Oh God, my finger. Fuck.
Yes, let's
Thank you.
go, streamer, go.
Go, streamer girl, go! God damn. Could someone make a parody of the Batman meme where he slaps someone across the face but with cake and Hirohei? Holy shit. I feel like if I do that, that would be like kind of too full of myself. But if someone else does it, I will love you forever. Like, use whatever profile anime character he uses and like That's funny as hell. Again, I want to state this. Like, if Hirohei, or if any of those stupid motherfuckers, because I did see on, like, a Twitter thread, because people were mad at my Magical Girl video because they're stupid. No, that's a joke. But, like, where this, like, VTuber dude said, like, oh yeah, I might cover her videos on stream today, and he didn't cover my videos on stream, and I'm very mad about that. I really wanted to see, or, well, I don't know, anyway, but it's like, it's also like, hey, like, VTuber dudes who don't like me or whatever, like, I'll talk to you. I'll come on your stream. This is probably a bad thing that I'm doing right now for myself, but, like, I'll fucking do it, because, like, I think it would be funny.
I keep telling you, I think it's a bad idea because they're not here for an act, like a civil debate.
I'm here for blood
They
sports.
just want to be mad at you.
Yeah, and
They
then
have nothing to prove their point other than talking shit.
yeah, but like once they're in an actual space, like with the person.
They're not going to agree with that.
Yeah.
They're too chicken shit to agree to.
Well,
a
of course
debate.
not. But like they're not. Yeah, so I'll never go on their streams.
Yeah, so don't try and invite it to happen. It's not gonna happen.
It would be I'm here for the blood sports. Let me be a gladiator.
No.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, I can't control you. I'm not your dad, but
I wouldn't listen to my dad anyway.
eh,
Because he sucks. Anyway, okay. Fuck, that was a long
alright,
tangent.
I'm done.
Alright, bye. So we're gonna watch my, like, Dark Magical Girl review shit. Starting with, of course, Daybreak Illusion. Because, it's there. And I was thinking about it. Yeehaw. Woo. Let me be a gladiator, Raven.
I remember one Christmas break in, I think, 8th grade. I watched a whole bunch of different anime. Back then, it was an achievement to me. My lack of social life aside, one of the shows that I watched was Daybreak Illusion. Now that I'm older, my tastes have matured, and I have a bit more of a critical eye for media, I've decided to watch this again instead of Castlevania. Clearly, I make good life choices.
I did eventually watch Castlevania, though. And it's very fucking good. Somebody in this household hasn't, though.
Hush.
Castlevania's fucking based as hell. Let's see.
By Studio AIC, who also did Now and Then, Here and There, Daybreak Illusion started airing on July 6, 2013. It features a cast of brightly colored characters
see.
battling against horrific abominations, which is exactly what I want from the media that I consume. The main gimmick of the series is its focus on tarot cards. For anyone who doesn't know, tarot cards originate from the mid-15th century and were originally just an ordinary set of playing cards. However, over time they came to be used as a tool for fortune telling, and that's how they're
All
primarily known
VTuber
today.
dudes are
I
afraid of
even have a
talking
deck
with
of my
cake.
own. See?
They
They're
don't
super
want to
pretty.
get
I like the art.
dialectically obliterated. Fuck
It's
yeah.
been 2 years since the
I
death
love
of
that.
12-year-old, remember that,
The art in
Akari's mother.
DBI
And it was
looks
on
so
that
pretty.
day that she
DBI,
discovers
DBI.
the secret
Daybreak
that her
Illusion.
mother
Yes,
kept
the
hidden.
art style is really
Inheriting
cool.
the power of the sun card, Akari must learn how to use the elemental tarot to defeat monsters
see.
called demonia. She goes
It took
to
me way too
Saphiro
long to
Flores,
figure out
a
how to
secret
pronounce,
organization
like, half the
dedicated to
words here,
exterminating these
honestly.
monsters. Demonia are born from negative human
Okay,
emotion,
so-
and we've all seen this kind of monster concept before. The question being, is it done well here? Sort of? It's a little confusing. We're told a person makes some form of contract with a demon, and we see that happen. But it's also
See, I feel
compared
like I
to a
need one more
virus,
frame
which I
here.
guess also works because the demon man is the one doing the contracting, but a virus would be more like a person gets corrupted, then that person corrupts another person, and so on and so forth, but I'm overthinking this.
I am.
Anyway, we're given the basic plot, we have a couple of establishing and character building episodes, and we're on our way. There's some magic world building exposition that's not very well explained at all, but we'll take a look at that later. The characters are good enough for what they are, but there isn't really much
God,
beyond
this is
what
so
we
early
see.
in,
We have
like,
the energetic
my,
one, the shy one, the
like,
stoic one,
anime
the protagonist.
reviewy things.
But let's look into them still.
The vibes,
Akari
they're
is
different.
the new girl. She's the main
don't like
character.
that.
She has a big heart, is well-spoken, and tries to be friendly. She's actually able to hear the voices of the demonia, which cause her to struggle in the beginning with the duty of killing them. But
Let's
I
see.
actually really like how they handled this aspect, because those who become demonia and then are defeated are completely
Yeah, okay.
erased from this
I
world.
like that. The
All
timing
memory
is
of
off,
them is
though.
gone, like they never existed. But they did exist, and these girls are the only ones who remember. Akari resolves herself to remember the final words of those unfortunate people. What she constantly thinks back to is Fuyuna, who became a demonia and went after her. She's the one person whose voice she wasn't able to hear, and that lack of
Let's
closure
see.
haunts her, which is why she drives herself to listen to others. That's a really neat concept
I think
to
maybe
explore.
let's scoot
All
you
of that is in contrast to
back.
no-nonsense Seira, who simply wants
And
to
then-
exterminate the demonia. Initially, she's very cold and dismissive of
Okay,
Akari,
let's see.
saying that the people who turn into demonia are worthless and deserve to be forgotten. This
Okay, that's
naturally
better.
upsets Akari because her cousin is one of those
Timing.
people. The two of them have a super interesting dynamic that gets explored when Seira befriends a girl who then later becomes a demonia. It's after that that she lowers her guard and starts to open up. All the while, Luna looks on in a silent jealousy. Luna is the quiet one, acting very shy and timid, but she's also the one who reaches out to Akari the most. Mainly due to a very one-sided crush that I don't think is really well written. Like, before Akari even speaks, Luna's acting all blushy, and their actual first conversation is when Luna decides to lay down next to Akari while she's sleeping, which is kind of super weird. Also, something throwaway line about Akari reminding Luna of her long-lost twin sister, whatever. And then there's Ginka. She's the energetic one who keeps the team's spirits up. She grew up poor, but now her father's super successful, and Ginka herself fights the demonia to earn money. Even though it's not really established that the girls get paid for their work, but I guess we just don't need to question that. And that's all we really got for Ginka, which is really sad. I remember when I first watched it, she was my favorite. She does have one big defining moment, but we'll get to that in a bit. I will
Also,
say that
I've
do
tried
like
to
watching
find
them just hanging out
this
and
show,
being
like for the Magical Girl Disrespect video, I tried to find this show without hard subs, and I couldn't, like, and I was really mad about that, because I wanted this in better, like, quality.
friends. It's interesting to see their individual relationships to one another as well as in a group. Like how Seira and Ginka are often standing next to each other, because before Luna came along, it was just the two of them. Then there's Akari and Seira, who come together and understand one another. And of course there's Luna and Akari, who both struggle a lot with their job, but find some understanding and solace in one another. But really, watching this a second time, they never felt particularly close. Like, we see them interact, but there's never an actual bond being formed. There's no chemistry. Luna was handled terribly, and she deserved better. Aside from the main four, we have these three babies who apparently represent the Wheel of Fortune. I only found that out while looking things up for this. Then there are the leaders of the Japanese branch of Saphir Flore, Ariel, who represents Judgment, and Atia, who represents the world. And finally, the two teachers, Meltina, the Magician, and Priscilla, the Fool. And I never really got much out of any of these characters.
Like,
The most I can say is that Meltina and Priscilla give me huge lesbian vibes, and I know my own kind when I see it. Their characters serve their purpose within the narrative, but outside of the main four, it's hard to put any personality traits to them without sounding generic. Special mention to this fortune-telling trio,
I
though.
love the
They show up
fortune-telling
at the
trio.
beginning as the people who run the fortune-telling house that Akari volunteers at. And then later on in the cooldown episode, the
they're
girls
so
stay over there
good.
for a night. I don't think they have individual names, and the designs of these two are pretty stereotypical and probably offensive in some manner. But as characters, they made me smile
They're probably
every time.
offensive, but, like, I liked them. They were fun.
So, there's a lot going on, and absolutely nothing gets explained in the slightest. As I've said before, the demonia are both a virus that spreads from person to person, and something that happens when a person is approached by a demon man and they make a contract. Both of these are thrown out more like theories rather than actual fact. And then there's the fact that the characters only fight using the major arcana of the tarots, and only one person can have the power of
Oh,
a
I
card
just
at
heard a
time,
microphone bump that
meaning
I've never
at
heard
any
before.
given moment,
Damn.
only 22 members
Amateur
can
hour.
exist. How does a worldwide organization spanning presumably centuries operate with only 22 people? Not only that, but not all of them even fight. Then there's the fact that this organization doesn't feel like it's been around for a long time. It feels like it only just started existing a little before the plot happens. Considering that no one knows anything about the monsters they fight, it all feels very spur of the moment and just kind of random. Halfway through, we're introduced to the anti-cards. See, tarot cards have two interpretations, positive and negative, one right side up and the other reversed. The whole basis of the magic system is that there were two sets of magic cards that came from the same source, one used by the heroes and the other used by the Demonia. But the anti-cards are specifically like a clone of the main girl. The only one we really get to see says a bunch of stuff about existing eternally, which doesn't have anything to do with Ginka herself. And once Ginka and her clone vanish, the concept of anti-cards sort of follows behind. We do see Priscilla and Meltina running into their anti-cards, but then they get rescued and the concept is never seen again.
Rip.
Just, has no one ever encountered an anti-card before? There's one
I know
line
green
about
and
the
orange are not
Demonia
popular
purposefully
colors in the
not
magical
sending
girl
out the
genre,
anti-cards
especially
in an
toy
act of
industry for kids, but I like those
self-preservation,
colors
but
as kids. Orange
does
is
that mean
a
that
good
they're
color.
intelligent? Are they organized? There are a lot of things here that contradict one another. Also, apparently, Saphir Flore isn't the only secret organization. It's actually headed by another faceless organization called Leguziaro.
I
who we
also
know
spent
nothing
way
about.
too long trying to figure
What
out how
we
to
do know about
pronounce
Leguziaro
Leguziaro.
is that they're also ordering around Cerebrum, the Demonia who makes contracts with people. Also, it's implied that Cerebrum is sort of Akari's father, which means that he could have only existed for at most 12 years. Who was making the Demonia before then? What is... like, what?
The shit
What?
ain't explained, brother.
Oh, some minor stuff about Luna's vaguely terrible rich family and her sister who vanished without a trace. I know
Yeah,
there's
right
more
shades
stuff
of
that
green and
baffles me,
orange.
but I can't think of it right now. So let's get on to the super gross stuff. Yay! As I've gotten older, I've become more and more aware and upset by the
Ooh,
depictions
ooh,
of
I
young
liked that.
girls in anime. As a kid around 14, I saw characters like Luna and thought, yeah, that's just like me, and people can't help how their bodies develop. And that's true. But now, as a 21-year-old woman, I look at this and
I
I
was
think,
21? What the fuck?
oh no.
Oh.
Because I recognize that this isn't the case of someone just happening to look like that. I recognize that an adult designed this character, drew her in this way,
Okay,
and I also
I
will
see the
assume
buffer
that the
here.
same person also designed her wolf form, and I really, really hope I don't need to state the problem with this. Here's the fucking nipple bump. I would like to cease existence now. Luna's chest actually wasn't much of a bother because it wasn't
Okay, I
ever
think
in the
that's good.
spotlight outside of her wolf form. But all throughout the show, there were several camera angles and shots that just made me super suspicious. If you want a good example of a teenage character with a noticeable chest that isn't sexualized, Mommy from
I
Madoka
stand by
Magica.
this.
Now she was someone I wanted to emulate as a teen. There's a level of confidence that comes from her, but never does the camera linger on her chest. At least in the original series, because other Madoka media love to do that, but we're moving on.
It's true.
Then there's the whole plot for the latter half of the series, centering around Cerebrum, wanting to impregnate Akari. By the way, do you remember how old— She's 12! She's 12! This strange man is trying to make a 12-year-old girl into a mother. Fucking ew! I mean, at least it's done through some magical bullshit ritual device thing or
I think I need
something.
another.
But she's
Here.
12! And the motivation isn't even the sex. He explicitly wants her to be a mom by force, and there is so much to unpack there, and I don't want to touch it. And here's the important distinction. This does not come off as a villain doing a villain thing. It's shock value. Because the villain, Cerebrum, doesn't really have that much motivation behind him. We know literally nothing about the Demonia, and the story so far has done nothing
FBI,
to
open up.
justify this
I'll get to that
extremely
joke
gross plot point.
eventually.
Then there's Akari being half Demonia because her father was studying them, and then he became infected, and then vanished, and then her mom was pregnant, which is why she can understand the Demonia. Also, remember, she's 12! And the implication of this being her father! Send help! Ah! This is not a well thought out plot point with horrific implications. This is just bad writing for the sake of making the story dark, without any
Oh,
actual meaning.
I heard a little
Nothing
ding
is being
ding.
said about
What's the
these
ding ding?
terrible, terrible things.
Oh,
The only
thank
reason
you!
they're
Wow,
included within
thank
the
you!
story is to tell
Oh
us
my
that the
goodness!
villain
It
is
says
bad,
anonymous,
which we
so
already
if
knew because he
whoever
steals
did that,
people's
like,
souls and turns them into monsters.
feel free
back half
like
could have
to
been Cerebrum
claim your
trying to get the
generosity
party to
because that's
murder a
so
basket of
kind.
puppies,
Thank
and
you
it would have
so
gotten
much.
the same effect.
Thank you.
It's-
Like genuinely.
When I was 14,
thank you.
I watched this and thought, wow, it's so dark and fucked up. That means it's good. But it doesn't mean that's good.
Adil's gotta have a
It means
little
it's just dark
smile.
and fucked up. That has nothing to do with the quality. Cerebrum hates people and also says some standard magical girl villain dialogue about never really being able to understand one another. But he wants to perpetuate his species, a species we never really see. Also, doesn't he already do that by infecting humans? Are there other demonia like him? What about the anti-cards? What is this weird void world we're in? Why does the plot of the finale revolve around whether or not a 12-year-old gives birth? Fuck! That's honestly the worst part of the show. Daybreak Illusion isn't anything special.
Okay.
It's not a must-watch, but if you're just looking for something to sit down and be like, oh, that's cool, turn your brain off maybe, yeah, it's...
Kiss
just
X
kinda
sis as
there.
well. What the fuck? Instead of
And
Alabama, I
with that,
used
I
one of my
have
favorite
taken a
animes
swing
that
at one of
has-
the many
yeah.
post-Madoka Magical Girl shows that I have very strong opinions about. Now I kind of want to do this again with
Oh
other
god,
shows
the
that fall
fucking mic quality that just totally shifts. Jesus.
into that category. So, join me next time, whenever that is. My name is Cake, and I watch bad Magical Girl anime, so you don't have to. Bye!
That was cute. That was like a kind of cute little thing. Yeah, okay, how do you, let's see. 諦めない想いして心つなげたい Yeah! Alright, so now next is, of
Made
course.
from it.
Oh, I was in the middle of this video. Vivid Red Operation! Woo!
So, there's this one photo set that circulates around Tumblr every now and then. It's a cute anime girl and her anime grandfather hugging each other, and it's super cute. And all of the comments on the popular versions of the post are like, "Aw, so wholesome. Maybe anime wasn't a mistake." Well, hate to burst your bubble, but yes. Yes, it was. Vivid Red Operation is another post-Madoka Magical Girl show I watched in high school and thought was super cool, but now that I'm older, I realize
I want you to
nope.
know, I want people to know, I, like, every time I saw that Tumblr post come around, I just, in my heart, I was like, oh no, they don't know. They don't know about the butt shots. It's like, it was my knowledge is a burden kind of moment. Like, my god. Oh god, it looks so much better already. Minor adjustments. Fuck yeah. Bonnie didn't need any fucking adjustment there. Bonnie's bit was already perfect. Oh, let's scooch that over here. Yeah, Bonnie's little jump is perfect already. Wow! Somehow Bonnie feels the easiest to draw. Because it's just like, yep, that's a child. Raven, look at the animation! Are you ready?
Hell yeah.
Like just a couple of extra frames.
That's all you need, baby.
Genuinely, like this, just drawing it slightly different a little bit, and his eyes shifting, whatever, that's fine. But like then it goes into that. That's fucking perfect. Yeah, and then this little bit, it's like, yeah, just hold it more on that, and then go. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Doing it.
I am. I'm animating. My teachers would be so proud. Because that's what I didn't like anyway.
No, it's not. I only found it in the first place because this one AMV was shown off on a live stream I used to frequent.
That
Funny enough, that's
AMV
also how
is
I was-
fucking awesome. I like, oh god, part of me just wants to go find it right now and watch it, and then we can enjoy it. And also, I talk over it and be like, okay, so here's why this fucks. Whatever.
was introduced to Fallout Boy. Anyway, I straight up don't remember most of the show. Watching it now, there's a ton that totally slipped my mind for reasons that will become apparent the more I discuss it. But first, I'd like to promote myself a bit. I have both a Ko-fi and a Patreon if you'd like to support me in the future. Links in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. So, in the future, there was a device built called the Manifestation Engine, which, quote, takes energy from the sky, unquote, and provides 95% of the entire
like
world's energy supply.
Yeah.
Because of this, there are no wars, fighting over resources, and basically world peace has been achieved. Honestly, that's a super cool concept. Though, this never comes up in the show, but I can't help but think how bad of an idea it would be to build the super amazing energy producing mega device in a country that sits on a fault line. Like, maybe pick a place that isn't directly on a fault line to generate the entire world's
goddamn,
electricity
I just
supply.
said the same
One
thing
magnitude
twice.
6 or higher, and the whole planet is in a blackout. Anyway, we're introduced to Akane, the granddaughter of the man who invented the manifestation engine, Kenjiro Ishiki, who has been ostracized from the scientific community for dumb reasons we'll get to later. They
And then
live
I
a
never
pretty
got
chill
to it.
life day to day until one day an angel, and alone, stupid name, shows up and headed
Did I-
straight for the engine. Dr. Ishiki, who's now
I
a
had
step
to have
weasel
watched
flavor,
Evangelion
we'll
at
get
that
to
point,
later, is
because
like,
I
hey,
made-
granddaughter of mine, I created this key for you to go save the world. Go get your buddy Aoi and save the world. And Akane is like, okay, cool. And then we see one of the worst transformation sequences that has ever been put to animation.
If the
that
characters
we'll
in
talk
Vivid Red
about
Operation were 18 or
later.
older, I
The
wouldn't have
next
a
3
problem, but
episodes
since
are
these
just
characters
getting
are
the team
14, that's an
together,
FBI
and
moment.
I'm
And
wondering if there's a
so-
limit
so-
to the Vivid system.
here's the thing. I understand. Like, actually war is more nuanced than fighting over resources. True! Sometimes, world leaders are just selfish bastards. My personal headcanon is, with the power of the manifestation engine, every other country, that, like, opposes that shit gets, like, obliterated, like, silently taken out. But, like, so, the characters being... I'm not saying that people should, like, draw 15-year-olds, like, boobly, whatever. But it's like... there is an artistic merit to nudity. I know the age of consent in Japan was 13 when the show came out, but come on, have some standards. One, no, it wasn't. The whole age of consent thing gets totally misconstrued. Basically, that law says, like, yeah, 2 13-year-olds can, like, legally have sex, but an adult cannot have sex with a 13-year-old. That's what that law is. And people just like to be weird about it. But it's more so, like... I don't know, there is, like... It's hard. It's hard to, like, properly put into words. Let's see, I need to have the hat come around. But anyway, so, something like Kill la Kill, like, you know, that's bombastic and, like, sexual and stuff, and granted, those characters are, like, 17, so it's a bit different, but, like, that's not that different, and a lot of people say Kill la Kill could have taken place in a college, and I feel like it would lose some of, like, the extreme absurdity of it all, because the whole point of Kill la Kill is, like fascism and fashion and high school, like, heightened anime eccentricities and all that stuff. It's it's hard to quantify, you know? Anyway.
The vivid system is what Dr. Ishiki created that basically lets the girls transform. Each new teammate is introduced, and then an alone shows up, and they're like, I want to fight with you! And Akane is like, yeah! And she creates a new key somehow, and bam, transformation. But see, those kind of nitpicks about the intricacies of a story's magic or power system don't always matter. They're just a base which a story can be built around. And if that story is good, there's no need to look at that base any further than need be.
Oh, this
In
is my no
Tokyo
reason
Mew
bit.
how come infusing a bunch of girls with endangered animal DNA gives them the ability to transform into candy-colored magical girls in frilly outfits? My Hero Academia, what caused some baby in China to start glowing, and why did superpowers suddenly show up everywhere?
Why do some people love sausages and other people hate sausages? No fucking reason.
That is a clip from a horror movie that I watched once. And I need to find again. It's called Rubber. It is about a tire who comes to life and has psychic abilities and rolls around the desert and blows people up. But there's so much more to that story than you could ever imagine. Genuinely, I fucking love it. I need to watch it again.
Who knows? And who cares? If your story is good, those tiny questions don't matter. This story is not good. Characters! Who are they? I will give two answers. One in a somewhat professional, objective manner, and one in truth. Akane is upbeat,
What the
somewhat
heck is this
dim-witted,
movie?
but stubborn
It's
to a
called
fault.
Rubber.
But she decides
It's funny and like fucking brilliant.
something, nothing can stop her. Aoi is a soft-spoken girl who was once terribly ill, but due to her father's wealth, she was able to live a rather carefree life with her friends. Wakaba is strict, hardworking, and earnest. She pushes the others as well as herself to do their best. Himawari is shy and reserved, being a shut-in after some intense bullying.
Thank you for
But
educating
now
me about
she's
Rubber.
opening
Fuck
herself
yeah.
up to others again, as well as showing off her brilliant hacking skills. And Rei, a mysterious girl who keeps insisting she doesn't need friends despite how hard the others push to befriend her. We see her every episode, powering up the Alones with her mysterious arrows. That was the professional descriptions. Now for the actual descriptions. Genki dumbass protagonist, polite rich girl, serious tomboy who loves cute things, withdrawn super smart one with big boobs, and discount Homura Akemi. I cannot stress enough how much I did not care about any of these characters. They are flat as a sheet of paper, perhaps even more, because a sheet of paper you can draw on and give texture and write stories. These guys are literally nothing beyond the tropes they are derived from. It's almost hard to put into words, actually. There truly isn't any sort of group dynamic between them besides generic anime friendship. There's only a single episode dedicated to fleshing out any of the relationship, and it weirdly happens on episode 9 in a 12-episode series. There are side characters like Grandpa, Akane's little sister, these two military chicks, but they don't matter. They're just there to fill in parts of the plot. Speaking of plot, I don't even know how... fusion! The girls can fuse into one being by forehead kisses and do super cool attacks. And the designs for the fusion forms are
love
really
the
cool.
fucking
In fact,
fusions.
all of the designs in the show, aside from the school uniforms, are really good. The magical girl forms have a very distinct mechanized style to them. The glowing blue highlights, the somewhat military inspiration mixed with a pilot. It's all super cool. And what I find even cooler is how all the girls' weapons have the name Ishiki on them, since that's the person who designed them. These costumes and objects were manufactured, so of course they would have the logo of who manufactured it. The costumes themselves, despite being the exact same with a color swap, are distinct enough, and that works. That's also something I think is really cool. The very bright, bold, distinct, and vivid colors used.
Oh god, the
Because
microphone
the series
hits.
is a sci-fi, it uses sci-fi aesthetics down to the character designs and color choices. Hell, looking at Google Chrome, it uses the exact same colors. Probably something about primary colors and light rays and how they mix and all that. Neat. Now, there's two kinds of weirdness in this show. The unearned stupidity of its plot and the anime bullshit. I don't want it hanging over my head anymore, so let's talk about the anime bullshit.
It's time for anime bullshit.
Butts! Butts everywhere! You got a butt? Show it to the cameraman. He's gonna love to see it. Oh, but only if you're a girl. School uniforms? Show off the butt. Riding a bike? Better lift your butt. Beach episodes? So many butts! You more of a chest guy? Well, don't worry, we've got some titty for you too in the fusion scenes. But also randomly throughout the show we get whole shots of boob from these characters that are 14! Ah!
As fun fact, I guess I watched Vivid Red when it first came out because the full frontage titty is only on like the DVD version, like the Blu-ray version, because when it aired on TV, they were covered up with like smoke and stuff. So like I think I watched that show when it first came out. But then years went by, so the version online is now gonna be those versions. And I was just like, cause so like when I fucking saw the like whole ass like nip on screen, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I don't remember that. Oh, that was wild.
Yeah. Many, quote, modern magical girl shows fall into the trap of sexualizing its characters. We see this a bit in Daybreak Illusion. We see it in the designs of Magical Girl Raising Project. And we see it in the transformations of Yuki Yuna as a hero. But here, that's basically the whole show. With how bare bones and by the book everything else is, it's
I
clear
love how all their
this anime
swimsuits
was only
were color coded too, like more so than normal.
made to create some kind of reason to show ass from every conceivable angle. Literally, the show begins with one of these shots. Really sets the tone for everything else.
I don't know what Strike Witches is.
What's
That's
frustrating
cool.
is how it's never really addressed. Like, it's weird to say. Some stories have sexuality written in as subtext, or it's what their plot is written around, or like something. What I mean by never addressed is more so the fact that if you take the gross camera shots away, it would just be a boring show. The story has no underlying themes of sexuality, and it isn't bombastically shameless enough to go full ham on what it does have. It's mindless fan service to the highest degree. They didn't even try to justify it. It's just there and terrible. And I want to die in Minecraft.
I was really proud of
this show
that
was
joke.
absolutely made for men because there's so much Yuri bait. But, like, not in any way that could be something genuine or something for lesbians to see themselves in or anything at all. It's just there. But don't worry. There's more stupid where that came from.
More stupid. Where
This
that
whole
came from.
section is just going to be dedicated to explaining what actually happens in the show because it's astonishing how dumb it is. Just let me have this, okay? So, Rei is from an alternate universe. In her universe, the manifestation engine was built just like in this universe, except it went ultra critical and basically caved in reality. Meaning that my concern about it being built on a fault line is even more warranted. For some reason, I don't know how or why, Rei is the only survivor and is approached by this weird crow thing that says it's a herald of some higher dimensional beings, and they'll restore Rei's world if she does everything they say. How did Rei manage to survive the absolute destruction of an entire universe? The Alones are attacking the engine in
Why
this
the fuck are they
universe
called
as
Alones?
a test to
I really
see if
hate
humanity was worthy of having such power. Was that what happened in Ray's world? I don't know. The show probably doesn't either. And the final test, I think, was when Ray was discovered, and it's found out that her quantum makeup is an anomaly in this world, and that's how the Alones are finding their way to this universe. Government dudes are like, then we should kill her and the problem will go away. And Grandpa is like,
お主らの心に友情は存在せんのか
so that would mean that they passed the test? No, actually, because Bird Bitch is like, I'm a totally neutral observer who follows the orders of a higher power. But I have decided that it's a total fluke that you passed the test, so I'll destroy your world regardless. And then eats Ray.
I have
Bird
survived
Bitch is a
worse
god now,
things.
says
Yeah.
some things that don't matter. Ray is still alive inside it, so there's a montage of docking, and Akane gets to Ray, and then this happens.
The stupidity of this whole bit, man. Oh my god. God, my censorship cake. This is the origin of censorship cake. Though that would be cool if this was a better show.
Let's rewind a bit. What makes the Vivid system different from everything else is it's powered on friendship? Does the series explain that any further? No, of course not. But it seems that the power of friendship is like a
Okay, I
legit
think I like that
renewable
timing
power source in this
better.
world.
Let's see.
I would be fine if these relationships actually felt like relationships
So
or the
it is-
characters felt like
Wow.
characters, but they don't.
Okay.
Oh God, where do I even go from here? There's
Third
so many
V
moments where I just
Zero
sit there like,
rematch
wait,
for that
what?
scene with the fuck.
Like in episode 1, Momo, the little sister, is making miso soup, and Akane is excited about there being okra in it.
Yeah, okay.
She's
It's
singing
like,
a song like, oh, okra, okra, and then it cuts off, and we cut to a shrine in their house that has like the anime comedy ding.
That still baffles me.
Like, excuse me? What is the tone supposed to be? Also, episode 6 is the beach episode, and so much stupid bullshit happens. Firstly, I am so goddamn tired of the whole, this one has small boobs, and this one has big boobs thing. I'm not even gonna call it a joke, because there is no punchline. It is not a joke. Like, it's possible
You've
to
survived
make
first
that
and the
scenario
end of
work.
the universe.
You
Yeah,
can
hey, wait a minute. Maho, what? Have you survived the end of a universe? Yo, that's fucking dope.
make boob humor funny. This is just not how you do it. On that note, when I watched this when I was 14, I saw Himawari and I was like, oh, that's me. Because she was anxious around people, had tits, and vaguely brownish long hair. Now I look at her and see that, like every other character in the show, she has no personality and only exists to be something for the audience to ogle at.
Wait. I
God.
just remembered. Because there were fucking role players in the goddamn comments here. Oh no, they changed their accounts! Damn it. Oh, they're probably role playing in somebody else's comment section. Oh god, it was the funniest thing ever. Holy shit. Oh no, they fucking changed it, because now instead of like the characters like from Vivid Red, it's like Minato, and it's like a different anime girl. It looks like they're Love Live characters. Surprise for episode 6 wasn't written by some horny teenagers. Really? Surprise. Yeah, oh yeah, I get it. Okay, oh god, no. God, and then this one person be like, Akane, Aoi, Wakaba, Hinawari, Rei, and Momo will not be happy when they see this. And then this person replied on all their alternate accounts. It's like, I'm not happy because she's talking smack about us. Yeah, me neither. Too many cussing in this video. I am mad because she because this user is talking smack about us. Angry emoji, angry emoji, angry emoji, angry emoji, angry emoji. She is even talking about our private parts. I'm so mad at her. She is talking tons of smack about us. It's, God, I'm so mad. I'm so mad this person changed the account names and icons. God, it's so fucking funny when people roleplay in my comments as the characters from the anime that I'm reviewing. Oh my god. Somebody asked, like, how did you and your friends come to our world? Oh god. It's so funny. Shout out to those people. Shout out to those people. I love you. Genuinely, you made my day when you first did that.
She's so cute. I wish she was in a better show. Speaking of characters that sort of grind my gears, by the end of the series, Akane had just completely gotten on my nerves. She has no personality aside from the most generic, energetic girl protagonist. Half of her lines are just "sugoi yo ne, kakkoi ne." And it's like, do you have any useful commentary to provide? Anything? No? You're just gonna sing your dumb song and move on. I don't like using generic as a way to explain something because that could literally mean anything, but here it literally is the most cookie cutter anime characters, protagonists, plot. Bah! Also, there's like this weird running gag with Mayo.
The Mayo thing is definitely some
Ray
kind of fucking
is a discount
fetish.
Homura, I really mean it. She's the long-haired, edgy girl who doesn't need friends and is seemingly hindering the protagonist's mission, but is actually suffering a whole lot herself. Also, in episode 5, she straight up tries to destroy the engine herself and steals some guns, and she also has this grappling hook thingy. Where'd she get that? Did the freaky bird give it to her, or like... The reveal of the girls being the ones to fight the Alones and Ray being the one to power them up is sort of silly because it might have just been me, but I thought Ray already knew. Like, thinking about it, there was no way she could have known technically, but she doesn't seem like she was trying to actually combat whatever was fighting the Alones. It's all stupid and weird, and
I
Ray's
always hate
taken
seeing
into custody,
roleplaying in
and the
the
girls
comment
go
section,
save
like,
her
do
and
that
prove
on
they
DA
weren't
or
lying
Tumblr if
about
you want
wanting
to
to be
roleplay.
friends. And Grandpa knew
Oh,
they
I
would
think
come,
Mayo
and
is
is like,
less of a fetish and more of a
they're
euphemism.
late.
Yeah, probably.
And it's all
No,
contrived
the
and stupid,
roleplay
and the bird
is
becomes
funny
the
to
final
me,
antagonist
because,
out
like,
of nowhere
that's
because
the
we're not gonna
bit.
touch the elder gods who employed her in testing humanity. Also, her magic power-up arrows, Ray says that they're proof of who she is or something, but at the end the bird is like, give me your arrow so I can power up. And she's like, no! And I should have given up trying to understand anything that was going on a long time ago. The floating infinity sign shows up and gives her a door back to her original world, which they restore because...
Consolation
and Ray goes
prize.
back to her world, which I don't get. You have friends here. You could just make a new life here, my dude. What's frustrating is we don't learn anything about Ray before her world was evaporated. We don't even see it. All we get is this weird cloud reflection place or something. I was too hard on Daybreak Illusion because despite the shock value plot it had, especially at the end, it was a fun show. I enjoyed watching it. It had characters I liked and were at least somewhat invested in. This is nothing. The writers clearly didn't care, and neither do I. Do I recommend this anime? No. There is nothing of value to be gained from it that you can't just get from a Google search. It is dumb. I'm dumb for watching it again, but I have a list to go through, and I'm finally crossing this one off.
Yay! It was a good one. It was funny. No. Wait. The video was good. Vivid Red Operation was not. So yeah. I'm good. Wait, give me a second. I'm gonna BRB. Cool. I will be back. Oh shit, I should have put the Starfy music back on. Fuck. Okay, wait. I was thinking... I think my real problem with Vivid Red Operation is, like, there's no fucking heart to it. It doesn't feel good. It's not... I don't know. It doesn't... It feels so, not manufactured, but, like, it's kind of fake and stupid. And I did not like that about it. Also, I did not like the butt shots. Oh my god, I gotta show the image Raven made. Oh, it was so fucking funny. Wait. Raven made the funniest image when I was doing the Vivid Red review. Can I find it? There it is! Wait, oh god. 飛び越えなこうを開けて眩しに光になれ No, not that. No, not that. Oh, what the fuck is happening? Can I not show the... I just want to show the picture. Come on. Yeah, no, the Vivid Operation art was pretty dope. I do love Hinawara. Okay, well, whatever. I'll just use the other one. Oh, wait. Let's see. Oh, is it on the screen? I think it is. Shit. Wait, let me... let's see. Yeah, but yeah, this is the image Raven made, and it was titled Average Vivid Liker. And it's true. It's true. And it's funny, and Raven is so incredibly based. Yeah. Anyway. On to Yuki Yuna as a hero.
Alright, time to tackle another post-Madoka Dark Magical Girl show. Next is Yuki Yuna as a hero, and whoo boy, there's a lot to cover. I guess I always start these with how I originally found the show. It was sometime in high school, and I saw it while looking through the anime on Netflix. Prior to that, though, there was a Tumblr post going around in 2014-15 talking about the show, basically saying how cool it was, mainly for including a physically disabled magical girl. Yuki Yuna as a Hero, or Yuki Yuna wa Yusha de Aru, aired in 2014 and was created by anime and manga writer Takahiro. Other works of his include Akame ga Kill, Release the Spice, and Chained Soldier. And while I've never seen or read any of those, they certainly feel indicative of... something? Anyway, the series is animated by Studio Gokumi. The only other thing I've seen from this studio is Endro, which I enjoyed a whole lot. But there's also World's End Harem. Oh, and the vending machine isekai. Nice. Talking about this series is a bit difficult simply because it's more than just the TV anime. There's a whole franchise following different groups of girls in different eras of the timeline. There are light novels, there are manga, there's audio dramas, there's even a few video games. And I've been having a lot of fun going through the wiki and reading all that there is to it. So, to help keep this video a bit more structured, I'm going to mainly focus on the anime. Though, I am considering doing a video where I just go over the Yuki Yuna lore and characters and just talk about it, because there are a lot of parts that I find
I kind of ended up doing this regardless.
I also want to kind of separate where I talk about spoilers, because I do recommend this series. But for now, we're on to the basic plot. If you want to read my raw initial thoughts while watching the show, those are over on Patreon. There's a lot to cover, so let's go! The story follows the Hero Club of Sanshu Middle School, composed of 4 girls who work to aid their community. However, one day their phones begin to blare an alarm as they're transported to a beautiful but strange world. It's in this world that they become heroes of the Sanshu, the deity of their world. With the support of the Taisha, a religious organization who support the heroes, Yuna, Togo, Fu, Itsuki, and eventually Karin fight against monsters known as vertexes. Along with abilities beyond typical human performance, the girls are also each given a fairy or spirit that act as a barrier for them both in and outside of battle.
Is my favorite.
They also have the ability to
Sonoko's
go Mankai,
adorable.
or full bloom, which is basically their powered up form. I really like how this show looks. The animation is great, especially in those big standout moments. There's something charming about all the backgrounds as well. Most of the locations are your standard school, club room, apartment, shrine, and park. Still,
Ooh, that
each
kinda looks
environment
better.
kind of becomes familiar after
I
a
do
while.
remember it's an online
I don't know
friend
why,
that
but I just
recommended
really
me
like
to
the
watch
normal
this
world
one,
locations.
which was about 1 year
They all
ago.
just feel
Yeah,
really cozy.
dude. Yuki
The
Yuna's
most
so good.
standout location, though, is the world that they fight in, the Jukai, or Sea of Trees. When a vertex attacks, the Shinju activates the Jukai. Damage here directly translates into the real world, making it imperative that the girls defeat the vertex before too much of
Although
the
I
space
think I
is
ended up
burnt.
not liking it much. That's
The
fair.
land
That's totally fair,
transforms
honestly.
into sprawling watercolor routes, and it's just a really cool visual spectacle. On one end is the Shinju, the god that created this safe haven for humanity.
Let's see.
On the other end, a vast open ocean? I think it's an ocean. And a wall of
Let's see.
vines
How do
from
I
which
go
the
from
vertexes
that expression
approach.
to that expression?
Ah, it's really neat. Though, sometimes 3D models are used for the girls in the fights, and it's very, very obvious. Fighting is only part of the show, though. Most of the time,
don't know
it's
if
more
that
of a
was-
slice of life, watching the
didn't
girls go along
really
their
like
daily
it. My friend convinced me
routines,
to rewatch
interacting
and
with one
exchange my
another.
view. It doesn't work like
Even
that for
still,
everyone, though.
the
That's
threat
fair.
of the vertexes
No,
is
no. The thing with this is, like, the world building is fucking confusing, which is something I get into in this video. But it's like, I don't know. I liked it on my first viewing, and I was skeptical about it. When as I got older, because of the whole, like, oh, post Madoka Dark Magical Girl thing. But then when I rewatched it for this video, I was like, hey, wait. No, it's good. It's good. There are iffy bits, of course, but, you know, it's good.
always hanging over their heads. This series borrows a lot from Shintoism, the native religion of Japan. From design aesthetics to certain rituals, it's very clearly a product of its culture. And that's another part of the show I really like. While researching for this,
Oh, I don't have my
wanted to
animation
make
glove.
sure I
Shit.
didn't misunderstand anything from the show that would have been obvious to somebody who was from Japan. So I ended up doing a lot of research, and it's just generally really neat how closely tied
Animation
to
glove.
traditional culture Yuki Yuna is. That leads me into a bit of a snag, though, because part of why I wanted to make 100% sure I wasn't missing any context is the show doesn't explain its own world very well. Most of it I'll go over in the spoiler zone, but for now I just want to say that, yeah, it wasn't a lack of cultural context. This show just didn't explain a lot of things about its world.
Still true.
Whoops! The show is also dubbed. Only the first season, though. It was good. All the actors are amazing, even if the line delivery was a little awkward at times, and the dialogue was a bit clunky in places. All the emotions hit proper when they need to, and the comedic bits are killer every time.
Hey, Karin, do you know this song? Yeah, I've heard it a couple times. Great, let's sing it together. But why are you asking me? I did not come here to make friends with you people.
Oh, I understand. You don't want to go after me. 92 points.
Yuna, give me the microphone. The mic! Oh, right!
I'll
I
talk more about
love
the dub when
that
going over
so
the
much.
characters,
It
which
was
leads
so
me
funny.
to... I would say that this show is held up because of its characters. It's the interpersonal drama and internal struggles each of them have that keeps me invested. And man, it is good drama and these are good characters. The titular character, Yuna Yuki, is the gang.
So, side note, yeah, it's good voice acting. Love their interactions. Yeah, no, so like half of Yuki Yuna is just like a slice of life thing. It's honestly that's most of the show, but it's held together because the character interactions and dynamics are so fucking strong. It's so good. Literally, it's so good. Right, pet peeve. I really fucking hate it when people say, oh yeah, the titular whatever, but like, it's not, so like, I'm trying to think, like because when you say, oh yeah, the titular character, it's not, or the titular thing, it's not, that titular does not mean the most important character or the main character or things like that. It means a character whose name is literally in the title. Titular title. Like, come on. And because Yuki Yuna as a hero is named after, Yuki Yuna, like, she is a titular character. It bothers me when people use that phrase wrong.
Key protagonist. At first, there doesn't seem to be much else to her. However, in the hero chapter, aka season 2, her entire happy-go-lucky, do-your-best personality is put through the ringer. But even when there was only season 1, something drew me to Yuna. I actually started comparing her to Akane from Vivid Red because on the surface, they're the same character. Except Akane annoyed me, and Yuna really makes me smile. Though that might just be because Vivid Red bored me to tears. Her English VA is Xanthi Win, and the more stuff I realized that she was in, the more
Shout
I
out
just
to Xanthi
adored her
Win.
voice. It's like both cheerful and energetic, but also soft and kind. Mimori Togo is Yuna's next door neighbor and best friend. The two of them are rarely seen without one another. While part of Togo's character is centered on Yuna, that isn't the sole focus of her world. Togo is a smart, classy, and very traditional young woman who is truly ride or die for her friends. She's
All
very
of them.
tech savvy,
All of her friends.
being the one who
And
manages
that's
the
the
club's
most
website
important
and
bit.
that files the requests when they come in. Her sense of humor can be a bit dark, and she's a self-admitted pessimist, but Togo is a kind-hearted person who cares deeply for
Guess
her
I should have
loved
watched
ones.
past season 1.
In English, she's voiced by Erica Harlacher, who I adore so much as a VA and a general person. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure I recognize that name from Genshin. What character does she... Wait, what? Then the Inobozaki sisters. The older of the two is
realization.
Fu, and let me just say, I love her. She brings the real big sister energy to the table. She's the one who started the Hero Club, and who was in contact with the Taisha about the group becoming heroes. Every step of the way, she takes full responsibility. But despite her responsibilities, Fu is goofy and dramatic in the best of ways. When the club puts on performances for elementary kids, she goes all in for the part of the Demon King. She loves to eat and is always looking for ways to improve her girl power. English voice actress is Erica Mendez, and while most people
There's too
know
many
her
Erica
as Ryuko
in
Matoi or
English
Retsuko,
dubbing.
she'll always be Fu Inobozaki in my heart. The younger of the sisters, Itsuki, is a sweet baby, and I love her so much.
Thank you for
She's
coming.
much more on the shy side, pretty much the exact opposite of her sister, which led to Fu becoming a bit more protective of her. But we watch over the course of the series that dynamic grow and change. Itsuki is still soft-spoken and shy, but we can see the confidence in herself growing. She wants to be someone who stands alongside her sister and not just linger in her shadow. Voiced by Brianna Knickerbocker in one of her earliest anime roles, actually. She sounds so soft and gentle. It's a shame we only hear her for half the show, 'cause reasons. Karin Miyoshi is
My
best
girl.
Cold hard fact. She is sent to the team by the Taisha as a more specialized and trained member, meant to keep an eye on the newbies. At first, she is curt and indifferent to the group, talking down to them and proclaiming herself to be a true hero. But her defenses are very quickly broken down, and she's a true member of the team. Proud, hardworking, dedicated, and straightforward, Karin sort of acts like a straight man within the whole dynamic of the group. She is voiced by Sarah Ann Williams, and she kills it. She kills it so hard. Karin is already an amazing character, but Sarah's performance is particularly good. Every bashful comment, every battle cry, very good. I love it. Side note, but now I'm keeping track of Funimation actors and how many magical girls they've played. The entire group dynamic is genuinely well written. The characters bounce off each other so naturally, and each character has a relationship with all the others. Because, like, sometimes in a show, it feels like there's a group dynamic, and then it gets broken down into a few main groups. Like, character A is best friends with character B, but if you tried to explain their relationship to, say, character F, you wouldn't get that far. But that isn't the case here. You can see how these relationships developed into this larger friend group. Togo moved next to Yuna and they became close friends. Then Fu invited them to the newly created Hero Club. The next year, when Itsuki got into middle school, Fu brought her little sister to the club where Yuna and Togo made sure she felt welcomed. They all support and love each other, and when Karin is added, you can tell she's the newest in the group. Out of the loop on certain jokes and acting as an outsider looking into this friendship bubble, but gradually becoming part of it. These girls are the heart of this series. Literally, because, like, there aren't really any other characters.
Spoiler zone.
So, from here on out, I'm going to talk spoilers. If you want to skip that, the timestamp is somewhere here. God, I'm terrified it won't be at the right time. I recommend this show, so if you want to go in spoiler-free, now's your time to skip ahead to the conclusion and then see for yourself. But for everyone else, and or the people who do want to watch the show, but they just want to, they don't care about spoilers, fuck. There is one more character who gets introduced. Sonoko Nogi. She was a hero prior to the main story, having ended up bedridden and unable to move or fight at all. After summoning Yuna and Togo, Sonoko tells them what the Taisha has been keeping secret from them, and the impact that she has on the story is immense.
This is a good bond.
A sort of haunt the narrative kind of character, even if it's only for a short bit. Her English voice actress is Christine Marie Cabanos, which truly makes me sad that the rest of the franchise was never dubbed, because we could have heard her go from Madoka Kaname to Mako Mankanshoku, and I would have killed to see that. Because in both the Hero and Washio Sumi's chapter, we see Sonoko when she's healthy, and she is an absolute delight.
Hey,
All my Tumblr homies know Let's Enjoy Kago Alive! Oh, my
Eccentric,
Tumblr
zany,
homies.
completely unpredictable, she fits into the main group like a glove. It's obvious that she and Togo have been friends for a long time, immediately falling back into rhythm with one another and calling each other their old nicknames.
I think next to
her wacky ideas fit perfectly with Yuna's optimism, and the excited energy
Sonoko
they
is
both
great.
share just puts a smile on my face.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Truly and wholly, I adore these girls. None of the
Oh, it's
world
not
building
just
is
a
explained
pop
in
noise
the
anymore,
slightest in the
nice.
first season of the show. At the very least, not clearly. Okay, so for example, Towards the end of the first season, when Togo is being told the truth of the world by Sonoko, she says,
There was never a deadly virus that brought humanity to the verge of extinction.
Now,
God, that
there's a
line's
lot to
fucking
unpack
funny.
there. The two key pieces of information we are given is that
Well, she
one,
doesn't have her glasses
humanity was brought to the edge of extinction, and two, a majority of people believe that was due to a virus.
That fucking line
But,
is so funny.
That line is the first time we're told any of that information. This is like episode 10 or 11 of a 12 episode season. Like that's not something you can just drop on an audience, man. So, after way too long of thinking about it, here is where the story takes place. The fictional city of Sanshu in Kagawa Prefecture on the island of Shikoku, the smallest of Japan's four
Might
main
wanna ask
islands.
Stacy about
The
this.
entire island is surrounded by a giant wall of thick tree roots. What's outside of that wall?
Speaking of,
Two different things,
what was the
actually.
music used in
First
the
off,
transition
there's
screen?
the rest of the
The
planet,
music for the little transition is the eye catch sound. Is one of the eye catches from Star Twinkle Pretty Cure. And yeah, it's that. You totally missed the line about the disease. Yeah, because it comes the fuck out of nowhere. Like, there was never a deadly virus that brought humanity to the edge of extinction. Buddy, we weren't told that humanity was brought to the edge of extinction in the first place. This is the first time we're hearing about it. What are you talking about? And it's not a case of adaptation, like, skipping things, because, like, this was the first in the franchise. Oh, it's so funny.
Presumably the rest of our normal solar system. But the whole rest of the planet is abandoned because 300 years ago the vertexes showed up, humanity drove into a corner, you know. Hence the giant tree wall. But while the walls are up, if you were to walk past a certain point, you would enter what I think is the heavenly realm. So there's like a sort of portal connecting these 2 points in space. There's like different gods, because there's the heavenly gods,
Yes.
and the gods of the land. And
Some people were confused about the god that the characters worship in season 2, and like why it would hurt Yuna so much. And like, but it's like, no, it's not the Taishu. It's not the Taishu. Not the Taishu. The Taisha are the people. I want to say Shinzo, but that's a different anime. Anyway, but like the god, the land god and stuff, like it's not. There's 2 different gods. There's different gods. It's fine.
the gods of the land are the ones who like protected humanity and stuff, and the heavenly gods were like, yo, hey, humans, you suck, let's kill you. And while I feel confident I understand the state of the world now, it took way too long for me to figure it out. And I only started figuring it out because I read the wiki, and holy shit, the wiki story is wild. So if you need help understanding, here you go.
I need to, and then
Seasons 1 and 2 follow a pretty typical story structure. It's pretty linear, and by the end of the hero chapter, the canonically last event in the timeline, everything is wrapped up. But there's a whole season left, and it is confusing. The third season, Dai Mankai, or the Great Mankai chapter, is weird. There are 3 different stories going on in the third chapter, and in order to accomplish this, the story jumps all over the
Siffer,
timeline
what the fuck
in a
happened
way
there?
that is
I need to
very
redraw that frame.
confusing, especially if you don't know that beforehand. First, we follow Kusunoki Mebuki and her team of sentinels as they explore outside the boundaries of the world after the heroes have defeated the Vertex threat. This takes place after Season 1, but before the hero chapter. Then we cut back to the hero team in the middle of hero chapter, where Sonoko brings out a book she found that's a biography written by one of the first heroes. So we follow that account for the next few episodes, and then finally we go back around, rehash the end of hero chapter, only to add on an extended ending that shows the girls grown up a bit
whole
and
ass
humanity
new
moving
episode.
forward and exploring the outside world and all that. And while I really, really loved all that stuff, what? This feels like the anime team wanted to adapt two of the light novel stories, but for some reason weren't able to give them their own full anime production. So all they could do was awkwardly tie it together instead. And because these are two whole light novels worth of story shoved into like 3 30-minute episodes each, it feels rushed. And by tacking it onto the anime story, it just generally causes a lot of confusion. And what especially sucks is there are some genuinely sweet moments added to the story that I think are beautiful. Togo remembering and talking with Gin after she's rescued from the gods. Yuna Yuki meeting Yuna Takashima.
I loved that bit.
Karin shouting
I
to the
loved
heavenly
this
gods
bit,
to
too.
fight her right then and there. These moments are so good. But unfortunately, in order to experience these moments, you have to watch the story you've presumably already seen before out of order and abbreviated, which is not a great experience. By the way, despite my issues with how these stories are told, the Great Monkai chapter actually has some pretty direct fuck the gods vibes that I'm super into.
I'm super into deicide.
Now, for all the praise I've given this show, there are some parts that are questionable. I always talk about the sexualization of the characters, so let's start off with something a bit more unique to this series first. Ableism.
Yay!
For the sake of clarity, ableism is defined as discrimination based on mental or physical disabilities. Ableism can be anything from a building not being wheelchair accessible, coddling or babying someone with autism, to even questioning somebody's disability status because they don't look disabled.
God, that's so pretentious. Why the fuck did I do that? Ah!
Why am I talking about this in an anime review? Well, unfortunately, it is an aspect of the franchise, mainly in its first season. When the show starts, Togo is in a wheelchair. Yuna is often seen pushing her around, but she also moves on her own. There's a chairlift at school. Whenever the girls are sitting down, her wheelchair is folded up nearby. She is treated like every other character. Cool. What's even cooler is how this translates into her magical girl form, because she is just as much a hero as the others. When Togo transforms, she has these bits that extend down from her hair to let her move around, sort of like Doc Ock. Not only that, but instead of fighting up close and personal, she stays back as a sniper, meaning she doesn't even have to move all that much in the first place, just needs to get into position and line up a shot. So not only is she treated with the same respect as everyone else and fully fleshed out as a character, but her disability is never forgotten, both acknowledged and subtly addressed without making it her thing. All of that is super dope and there is no problem with it. The problem comes when we find out about Monkai and its side effects. The big tragic twist of this show is that every time the girls go Monkai, they are taking on some of the Shinju's divine power. And for a human to do that, there needs to be a sacrifice. So every time Monkai is activated, the girls lose parts of their bodies. Fu loses sight.
So the thing that confuses me about the Sange thing is like, So it starts off like, okay, they lose functions of their bodies. That makes sense. That I can work with. But like the fact that Togo loses her memories, that shit doesn't make sense and feels like it was only put there so that she would have magic amnesia, so that she can't be like, hey guys, by the way, this whole hero thing is kind of not great. And it's like, come on.
In one eye, Itsuki loses her voice, Yuna loses her sense of taste, and Togo loses hearing in one ear. Shortly after this happens for the first time is when we meet Sonoko. The secret that Taisha kept from the girls that Sonoko tells? This is it. Heroes chosen by the Shinju are granted immortality, and their fairies are there not only to aid the hero in battle, but also to bind the hero to her duties. By the way, this system is stupid. See, Togo was actually a hero with Sonoko in elementary school, and back then there were no fairies, which means no barriers to protect the girls in battle, and no Monkai. So, why are there fairies now? Well, after their third team member, Gin, died horrifically. Yeah, that's what happens when your god demands you send children to fight giant monsters. The Taisha were like, oh shit, let's make sure this doesn't happen again. So their solution was this. Now the heroes have the Monkai ability, which comes with the fairies. What the girls aren't told is that they are now immortal against their will, and that every time they use Monkai, parts of their bodies are sacrificed. Because, like, taking on a god's power in a mortal body, you're gonna lose something, right? Except, no. See, the girls gotta transform one more time, and the Taisha have made some changes to the hero system. The Monkai gauge now starts out full, and every time a barrier is used, the gauge goes down. You can use Monkai with no side effects, but the gauge will be completely empty afterwards. If the gauge is depleted, no more barriers can be used, and you'll be hit directly. Which makes me wonder, who the fuck thought the previous version was a good idea? Especially without informing the girls using it? That whole sacrifice for using the god's power thing is apparently BS, because now they can use it with no problem. Anyone else thinking that the Shinju was actually a bitch? That's the whole point of the third season. Anyway, back to ableism. Here is where the iffy language becomes apparent. So, like, objectively, it sucks not being able to walk. Being disabled is not fun, but it's also not all bad either.
True.
Imagine if you used a wheelchair, and maybe you do, and that's your whole life. Now a piece of media has a character say, oh no, I've been disabled and have to use a wheelchair for the rest of my life. What a cruel and twisted fate of events. That would feel kind of sucky, right? Then there's the idea of disabilities being magically cured in stories. The discussion on if that's an ableist trope is still fairly recent, and there's a lot of nuance that comes with it. When it comes to this series in particular, I
would love to hear what like other physically disabled people think about Yuki Yuna as like a piece of media. Because it's like, yeah, it's a complicated topic that deserves to be discussed from multiple angles. Yeah.
Quite know how to feel. I found an interview with Seiji Kishi, who was the director and a storyboarder for the series, and when asked about Togo and her disability, the interviewer specifically mentioning how the show goes to great lengths to never treat her as disabled, he responds with this. One of the main themes in Yuki Yuna is a hero.
I hate
is
how
the
I did
risk
the
that
background
comes from
for
the
this.
heroes
It's too
using their
weird.
powers. The action and the counteraction that comes from it is
so
kind of shown by this character.
the characters getting their body functions back it's kind of treated as like a reward from I literally just said what it was. Shinzo. No, not Shinju. Shinju. It's treated as like a reward from the Shinju. So, it kind of makes sense, but And honestly, I'm okay with a story not making sense with its own universe as long as it's like emotionally resonant.
I firmly believe
Yeah,
that
but
by
this
drawing
background
a disabled
skit,
person,
that just
I could
fucking
not
hurts.
do it half-heartedly. People who have physical disabilities, how they live is similar to how people who don't have physical disabilities do. They live life just like we do. We need to be true to that. It would be nothing but disrespectful if we said, well, why are we putting a disabled person in? Because we need it for the story? No, that would be completely disrespectful. What we had to do was we had to stay true to the fact that a disabled person would live just like us, and we needed to draw that. It was that simple. To me, this speaks
Based
to an
interview.
enormous amount of care the
Based
staff
anime
had
director.
when creating this character and story. On one hand, it's a good twist. The idea that these girls will continue to lose their bodies and minds as they are sacrificed to the Shinju in exchange for the power to keep humanity safe. Their hero forms even adapt to support these losses. Hell, having a member of the cast with a pre-existing disability only for the haunting and killing realization that
I
it was
kind of don't
actually
like
a
that.
sacrifice they experienced fighting before the main story is a cool idea. On the other hand, it does suck how we have this character in a wheelchair, not defined by her disability, while it's never truly forgotten, end up not being disabled at all. Especially
That
with
feels
how
like
Togo
too
talks
much
about
and
her own
too
disability
short of a
once
time.
the truth is discovered. I understand it from her perspective, but if I had to use a wheelchair, this would be kind of hurtful. But that's why I wanted to bring up this discussion, because I think it's an important part of the literature. And understanding these different points of views on this issue is how writers in the future can create something even better. And of course, there's the fan service with underage girls, the bane of my existence. The transformations have a few questionable shots that could be totally innocuous. What isn't innocuous is how Togo
I
is
do like
presented,
this one,
because
but, like,
she
him
is the
ducking his head
designated fan
down, I
service
think.
character, apparently. She gets the boob socks and all.
The
Her
fucking boob
Monkai gauge
socks.
is directly on her boob. Like, not on her chest or over her heart, just straight up on the tit. And of course, as the sniper, we see her butt in earlier episodes. A lot of the art for the series is mega questionable, but like, whatever. I roll my eyes and move on. What really gets me, though, is the prequel series. In the main story, the cast is around 14, 15, anime age. But in the prequel series, taking place a few years earlier, the cast is 11. These are 6th graders. And the fan service is actually more gratuitous there. And before anyone is like, well, people can't help how their body develops, I know! I was one of those girls. The difference being I am a real human person and this is a cartoon character somebody purposefully designed and animated this way. Another really weird thing that
And
I
this is,
noticed
like,
that
I noticed and I was
quite
like,
frankly,
wait, huh?
don't know the proper way to approach, so I'm just gonna rip that band-aid off. Togo. Okay, so Togo is a history buff. She likes Japanese history and knows a lot about it. That's cool. She's super patriotic, alright. But it gets to the point where she's weirdly nationalistic. Like, she continuously brings up our great nation, saying it more than once, enough to be noticeable.
And apparently she refuses to eat any non-Japanese foods according to the wiki. One of the parts that really made me go, wait, what the hell, was in the hero chapter.
I'm surprised I've
It
never
was
seen
Christmas.
anyone talk
and
about
Yuna
this
was
with
like,
this
haha,
series.
yeah, Christmas is fun. And Togo responds with,
外国の祝祭も祝う我が国の寛容さね。なんか言い方が怖いよ。
like, girl, what? Then there's this bit where the girls are playing with BB guns or something, some kind of capture the flag type thing. Togo is acting as a drill sergeant to the captured members of the other team, saying, if you ever want to go back home, you listen to everything I say. Which, if you know anything about how the Japanese government has treated prisoners of war in the past, this becomes a lot less, haha, funny game taken seriously, and a lot more, oh god, oh my god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah,
It's
no,
kind
nationalism
of the equivalent of
is
someone
never.
being really into American history.
It's not.
But
It's
they
never the
mainly
greatest.
focus on the Civil War on the southern side and
Okay,
call
I like
it the
that.
War
There
of
we go.
Northern Aggression.
Yeah,
Again,
I can imagine.
understand that I am watching a show from a different culture, but oh wow, the red flags, they are a waving.
Conclusion.
I want to make something clear. When I say post Madoka Dark Magical Girl, I don't mean anything other than what I said. It's a Magical Girl series with a
Yeah,
darker tone
it's
aimed
so
at an
weird.
older audience that released after Madoka Magica. The reason I clarify this is because
Oh
there
my god,
is
I've
a
almost
lot
been
of
going
debate
for
over
2 hours.
these kind of
For
shows.
3 hours.
If
I
they're
have been
even
going for
good,
2 hours.
if they're ripoffs, if this
Damn.
phenomenon even exists,
I
as
could do
some
30
argue
more
that
minutes.
there have
Let's
always
make it an
been
even
dark
3.
magical girl shows,
3's not
which
an even
is
number.
true, and I think as a whole, this topic is complicated. I do think there is a noticeable spike in darker magical girl.
Yeah, like you will just have a character whose bit is using literal fascist terminology or behavior. It's played off as a joke. Yeah, I feel like anime has gotten better about that, as you know, like with the internet being such a prominent thing, and with young Japanese people having access to it, of course, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, there's this historical event that happened. Whoa, the government, ooh, yikes. And also just in general, like, I feel like that's Orange Magical Girl, Sailor Moon, the original Magical Girl. Orange Magical Girl? Wait, what, huh? What about Orange Magical Girl? Also, Sailor Moon is not the original Magical Girl. That would actually be Ako-chan from Himitsu no Ako-chan. I do remember 1 or 2 characters whose personality is just imitating a World War II German soldier, though it's quite an old one. Yeah, no, it's a thing. Personally, I think we should make it a character trope in American media of, like, some kid in, like, the generic, like, cartoon to just be like, you are the orange magical girl, everything about you is orange. Correct! But, like, whose thing is just, like, this bit, it was funny in my head. It's not funny out loud. Oh my god. Oh god. Anyway. Yeah.
Girl shows after Madoka's release and an explosion in popularity, but I certainly don't think it destroyed a genre or anything stupid like.
This video, I fucking hate it so much. Holy shit. Yes, I will commit to the bit. Fine. I think that there should be a trope in American cartoons where there's this one kid who is really into the Civil War. They're a Civil War buff, but they only like they only
talk about it as the war of northern aggression and talk about states' rights and all that, and they say all the southern like bullshit and stuff. Like they say all that shit. They're totally lost cause like supporters, and it's like, oh no. Oh damn. That's not PC. Gotta make sure Isabeau's tits are big enough. His big man tits. It's very important for a man to have his man tits. So that's my bit. Anyway, I fucking hate this like oh, how Madoka destroyed a genre. And in fact, in my no, so here's how you make that like character, the Civil War character, funny, is like he says shit and then literally everyone else around him just like turns and looks and is like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What the heck? It was about slavery. I like history. That's why I have a lot of Confederate flags. Oh my god, as somebody who is from the heart of Dixie, oh god, it's always a little like, oh god. The underlying message of the whole magical girl genre is that there are people always protecting us from the evils of the universe, and we can win with love and justice and cute costumes. Correct! True. But so like in my magical girl disrespect video, when I said like I was watching a video by someone who like I vehemently disagree with, and they say, oh, I love magical girls, but only showed footage from Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura, it was that video. It was that video. And I'm like, buddy, you don't know shit. I'm being a little mean now, so let's continue.
What I am saying is that this niche genre...
Motherfuckers can't call me a goddamn tourist. I know my shit. Holy God, I know my shit. And if I don't know it by heart, I will do the fucking research, and I will write it down, and I will double check it, and I will cross-reference shit, and I'll be like, hey, person who I know knows more than me, is this correct? And have them proofread it, because that's how you fucking do it. God damn.
Of an already niche genre is often misunderstood. Because of shows like Sight or Spec Ops Asuka, it gets the reputation of being torture fests. But having re-watched Yuki Yuna and even watching parts of it that I had never seen before, I can confidently say that is not the case here. That doesn't mean it's completely free of fan service or...
Eclerdal, I think that was a joke. Like, obviously that's not the message of the entire genre, because every show is different. But, like, if you want to make a joke, then yeah, that's the message of the entire magical girl genre. You can save the day by fighting with love and friendship, and also cute outfits. That's all you need.
Iffy writing, but as a general experience, I would say it's a good one. So... this is my recommendation because it does get confusing. Start with the first season. Duh. From there, the second season is split into 2 separate chapters. One being a prequel, the other being a direct continuation of the first season. Start with the prequel in Washio Sumi is a hero, then go on to the hero chapter. After that, go to episode 12 of the Great Mankai chapter, as that pretty much picks up right where the hero chapter leaves off. And that way you don't have to go through all the rehashing and weirdly paste other stuff. And if you're part of the I don't want spoilers crowd that skipped ahead to this point and you do want to see all the other extra stuff in Great Mankai,
Off topic,
I
but
recommend
do you count
coming
Wonder
back
Egg
to this
Priority
video.
as a magical girl
Not
series?
only because
Yes, I do. I know that, and I have like a video about Wonder Egg Priority planned and sort of written out. I consider it a magical girl series, and I know that a lot of people don't, because like the staff have said like, oh no, it just has fantasy elements, but it's not like a magical girl story.
My argument to that is I don't care about word of God for the most part. In this situation, I shoot death of the author. I don't care. Because to me, it's pretty magical. It's girls who fight monsters, which isn't a prerequisite of the magical girl genre, but you know, it is a subcategory, and they use magic to do it. There's a magical element to it. So, like, I count it as a magical girl show, yeah.
Like when people watch my videos, but also because in the spoiler zone there is some important context about the Great Monkai chapter that I would have liked to know before going in. Despite how often I was deeply confused when watching this show, I came to truly care about these girls. Even if I didn't understand logically why something was happening, I understood why the characters were doing it on an emotional level. To me, at least, the characters are the true core of this show. Altogether, I think this is a worthwhile experience. There are faults, as all stories have, but I believe there is a genuine heart within these characters. I found a translated interview with Takahiro Seiji and another writer for the show, Makoto Uzue, and the love these three have for the characters and story is palpable. There is a passion to this series, and that's worth something in my book. And with that, another show is crossed off my list. I need to make a better graphic for this. Whenever I next get motivation, we'll be looking at Magical Girl Raising Project. But until then, the cow is God. There was no other place for me to put this, but I'm pretty sure the cow is God. It's never, like, directly said, but this little bag of strawberry milk is God. The cow is God.
The cow is God. All right, and then we're doing Magical Girl
Next.
Raising Project. Yeehaw. God, I am watching my own videos. I am a fucking... No, I can't say I'm a narcissist. But, like... Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Next step on the journey. The penultimate show on my arbitrary list of
And it is a completely arbitrary list.
Madoka Dark Magical Girl shows. It's Magical Girl Raising Project, which I thought was Rising Project for the longest time. This was actually the first one of these shows that I watched while knowing the reputation of Dark Magical Girl shows. There isn't really an interesting backstory as to how I found it either. I saw it being discussed on Tumblr in the Magical Girl sphere and thought, hey, I should watch that, and then I did. Though I can't quite remember what I thought of it at the time. I didn't think it was bad, per se, but I also didn't think it was good either. So, Magical Girl Raising Project started as a light novel written by Asari Endo with illustrations by Mamarino. Its first volume was published in 2012, and it was in 2016 that the anime would be released, which followed the first volume's story. The anime was done by Studio Lurch, known for the Danganronpa anime, Assassination Classroom, and School Live. Now, this is a bit of a similar situation to Yuki Yuna.
Oh, this
in that
video was
this
actually
is
how I
not
was
just a
introduced to your
single
channel.
anime.
Oh, yay!
The anime from 2016 is an adaptation of the first volume and story arc, and according to the wiki, there have been 18 published novels in total, 9 main series books, and 9 side novels. It's actually quite interesting watching this show, knowing it's only the first part of a much larger story. Unfortunately, I have not had the time to properly dive into the rest of the franchise, just because I haven't been able to get my hands on the light novels, and also I struggle to sit down and actually read things.
I have ADHD.
Unfortunately, it leaves a bunch of the stuff in the anime unexplained. I'm not sure if I'll ever jump into the rest of the light novels, though I have been told that the later light novels are much better written. However, in this video, I am looking at the anime and the anime alone. Everything
I watched
else
this
is
anime as a
unknown
middle schooler,
territory
I think,
to
and
me.
liked it. I've read
Though
the books
I
as
have heard
source
recently
material.
there was a season
Then
2
one day I was
announced,
remembering
so
this franchise and
that's
searched
cool.
for it on YouTube.
Before
Aw,
properly
that's so
beginning,
nice!
if you like the video, then kindly give it a like below, and subscribe if you want to see more, and comment, because I like reading comments, and, you know, conversations are fun, and I don't know how to do the
That was a weird thing.
YouTuber
Why'd I do
thing
that?
without, like, sounding soulless. Alright, anyway, let's go! The plot!
So, funny thing, what was I saying? Fuck. Oh yeah, I really, like, even if a video doesn't get, like, you know, a bajillion views, it's like engagement with comments and stuff that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Like, my Fragaria memory video, like, doesn't have a whole lot of views than, like, other videos that I've done recently, but like the comments being like, woo, yeah, fragment, minna nakayoku, that kind of stuff, that makes me really happy.
There's a rumor
See.
going around that if you play the
Oh,
popular
fuck, that was
mobile RPG,
bad.
Magical Girl Raising Project, there's a 1 in 100,000 chance to become a real magical girl. Koyuki has admired magical girls her whole life and has always wanted to be one. So, when the mascot of the game, Fav, addresses her directly, asking if she wants to become a magical girl, she accepts.
Oh, deal. Fuck.
There are 15 magical girls in the city, with one more on the way. They are tasked with using their enhanced abilities and unique powers to help people around the city. Every time they help someone, they earn magical candies. Fav eventually announces that the 16 magical girls are draining the area's supply of magic, and the number will be cut down to 8. Whoever has the least candies by the end of each week loses their privilege as a magical girl. Which, you know, that sucks. But what sucks more, and what the group isn't told about, is that you die when you stop being a magical girl. Though it doesn't take long for everyone to find out. From there, the death game is in full swing. More rules and events are added as the show goes on, which serves to further put pressure on the girls to drive them to kill each other.
No, I
And
don't
man,
have any more undos.
that sure does happen. Quite frankly, it takes next to nothing for somebody to plot a murder, and it isn't even the openly homicidal one to do it. I found the pacing of the show to be really off. Sometimes it's agonizingly slow, and then all of a sudden everything decides to happen all at once. Not only that, but I just generally found myself noticing weird directing choices. Scenes were often weirdly paced, and genuinely, it felt like the show spun a roulette wheel to decide what should come next. Not only are scenes strangely edited together, but there are also some just straight up inexcusable editing mistakes
In
here.
hindsight, I do think
There's
the
a part near
series
the end where
beginning
it has
is more
this
inspired by
cold open,
Danganronpa.
and it cuts to
Yeah,
black,
I mean,
then goes to the opening.
for the most part, like, a lot of things that are just magical girls but blank, such as this being magical girls but a death game, it's just like, it's playing on the contrast of it, of like, oh, we think of magical girls as cutesy and for little girls, let's make it dark and edgy. And there are ways to, like, make it work, but this wasn't one of them.
Sequence.
Fighting strong opponents sounds like fun to me.
I don't get why they did that.
Like, there isn't even a cut to black with a character ominously saying something over it. It's just super weird. And then earlier in episode 2, we have the screen fading to black, and then the music just stops, cuts randomly.
I absolutely think so. Every girl's capable of being a good princess.
Genuinely, what is happening here? It is so strange. Pro tip, but if a character we've barely seen suddenly starts getting focused, they probably
I think
won't be
recently a
around
game
much
about
longer.
magical girls
At
and
least
Danganronpa
twice
style
the show
killing game
opens
came
up
out
with
but
a
was
character's
apparently not
backstory,
received well.
only
If
for
that's
the
a thing,
exact
I need to know about it. Holy shit. So, and also, by the way, so there's this game that I played in college. It's called How to Date a Magical Girl. And it was bad, but it was bad in a very, like, unique way that one fucking day. I will explore. I will do a review of it because it was baffling. It wanted to be Doki Doki Literature Club so fucking badly, and it did nothing that Doki Doki did right. Holy shit! But if there's like a Magical Girl Danganronpa anime game equivalent, I need to know what it's called and I need to play it. Holy shit, that's really funny. Oh my god.
Same character to be dead by the end of the same episode.
Let's see.
That's not really good storytelling, and it comes off as a really cheap way to make the audience feel for the character. Hell, half the time we only get the backstory while the character is dying. I'll be honest, I was struggling to talk about this
Magical
show.
Girl Witch Trial. Holy shit, I have to look that up right the fuck now. Is it on Steam? Oh fuck, I hope it is.
Sequential events, the impact any of it has is like next to nothing. At the end of the story, what are we left with? But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, let's try and go over the characters.
Magical Girl Witch Trial. Holy fuck. Magical
When
Girl.
it comes to death game stories, it's important to have characters that the
I don't see
audience
it.
can get attached
I don't see it on
to,
Steam.
or at the very
Okay,
least, characters that
Magical
are
Girl.
memorable. If you're just watching random stick
Let's
figures
fucking go,
be
let's
killed,
fucking go,
there
let's
isn't
fucking go.
really a reason to care. You need to have something
I
that
got
makes
it.
them stand
Oh,
out.
the
That could
art's
be a cool
pretty.
gimmick, a well-written personality, unique design, anything. When it comes to rated
I don't think
content,
it's
there are some
out yet.
characters that are done pretty
Is
alright,
it?
but most of them fall flat. You
Okay,
can
so it's
put the
in
characters of this
Japanese
show
on
into
Steam.
two categories. The normal person who thinks killing
English
others
language is
bad
not
characters,
supported.
and the insane murder-happy homicidal asshole characters. Our main
Damn it.
protagonist is Koyuki, whose magical girl name is
Still
Snow
gonna
White.
wish list it on Steam.
We don't really see much of anyone outside of their magical girl transformation, so I'm just gonna call everyone by their Maho names.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's an RPG
Snowy
Maker
has
thing, but
always loved magical girls and
is
wanted
this
to
the same
be
thing?
one.
What
After
the
gaining
fuck?
her powers, she spent most of the pre-death game time just going around and helping people, because to her, that's what a magical girl should do. And being real for a second, it feels more like the story just kind of happens to her. Snow White doesn't really do much, and she doesn't really have a personality. Her thing is that she likes magical girls. That's it. And sometimes a character is written like that to make a statement
It has
about
demo, which
agency
was not-
and how it's taken away from someone
was not
or something.
received well,
but
the plot.
here it really feels like
Oh my
everyone
god.
else in the show
I
is
want this
more
in English.
interesting,
I want
and
this
Snow
in
White is
English.
here
I don't
just to
care
be
if it's
sad
bad. I
girl,
want
which
it.
is fine. But I
Oh my
don't
god, oh
think
my god,
it's
oh my god, oh my god. Okay, about the demo. Demo allows players to play through the following parts of Chapter 1, the exploration segment, the beginning of the witch trial. Calling it a witch trial is so good. Some core story beats are not available in the experience in the demo. We apologize for keeping you waiting. Map used to quick travel, features of the Wikipedia. Cool. Oh, we'd love to see what you think of the demo. Please use the hashtag blank on your favorite social media devices. If you mention any spoilers, please add the tag. Oh, that's cool. I'm keen on following it. This shit is cool. The game features teenage girl protagonists who Why is this in the mature content description? I don't see any, like, sexual violence, so that's good. A lot of people received the product for free, and some of them are in English. Oh my god, I want to know. Oh my god, I will do anything to play this game. Like, if somebody could translate. Somebody needs to make a patch for this. Holy shit. Oh my god, wait, is there a YouTube? I thought there was a YouTube video. Oh my god. I'm into this. Holy shit. I'm sure that once I actually, like, play it, if I do, like, it'll not be good. But, like, right now, as a concept... Oh...
ここから出してよ。ねえ、どうすれば出られるの？
Oh shit, that's so good.
そっか。みんな死ねばいい。
Oh. Oh, they look cool! Yeah! Oh, they look cool as hell. Oh, that looks so... Yo! I'm into this vibe. Holy shit. I'm into that. That's fucking awesome. Like, yeah, people were like, oh, it's not very good from the demo, but like, who cares? I haven't played it, so my image of it is still pure. That looks really fucking sick. I love it. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even if it's not good on like a technical or story level, like it could still be good in a like fun, like it's so stupid it's fun kind of way. Holy shit. Oh my god, Eclurtle. Like I love that. Thank you. Oh my god. No, the aesthetics are fucking good. Yeah! Anyway, I like Snow White's shoes here. They're cute.
Done well here. I kind of
Alright,
hate
back
that I
to
have to say
animating.
This. Then there's La Pucielle, who's actually Snow White's childhood friend who also loved magical girls. And her name is actually Sota, and they're actually a boy. But because everyone's magical girl forms are the character they designed in...
I've seen some people describe La Pucielle as like a trans character, and I do see that angle, and I see that angle specifically like in like fandom headcanon terms, but in terms of like how canon that is, I don't think it is at all. And so when people say like, oh yeah, I don't see how people like it because they killed off like in very brutal ways both a trans character and two lesbians, it's like, well, no they didn't, because he's not trans. It's just some like anime nonsense, you know? Well, yeah.
Game, he turns into a girl upon transforming. She's got a night theme and a cool dragon tail because why the hell not? I actually really love this design. I thought I would have more issues with it, but no. This is cool. I love it. Ripple is a ninja girl with a bad attitude. Her mentor and partner is Top Speed. She's just genuinely a cool character. I really liked her English voice, and she's got this whole ex-biker gang thing going on. Nemarine is somewhat of a hikikomori who prefers to stay inside. She helps people by entering their dreams and aiding them.
No, I understand. Like, Japan still is a rather conservative country, but like that makes some, but like it's still very like exploratory on those things. Like the characters will never be explicitly this one thing, but like wink wink nudge nudge. Such as Mizuki from fucking Project Sekai, who is perhaps one of the most trans characters ever. They never like they never say like, oh yes, I am transgender, but like holy shit, the entire story is based around that, and they pretty much all but confirm it. Like the fact that they don't use that exact word should mean nothing. Mizuki's trans as hell.
Throwing around verbal abuse and talking down to the others who follow her for some goddamn reason. Her entire backstory is that she was a secretary who had good ideas, but no one listened to her because misogyny, I think. So now she has the power to be the girl boss she always thought she was. The worst thing about her is that the show tries to make her out to be nice, actually. In a flashback, she gives Tama, who is a middle schooler, a manual to read. but there are a lot of kanji that Tama can't read, so Ruler takes the time to simplify it, which, you know, would be really nice if it wasn't for the fact that Ruler spent the entire scene needlessly insulting Tama.
I think you're a really kind person. Me? I am not.
Yeah, you really aren't.
I
The
am not.
angels are weird. The best word that I can use to describe them is petty, but petty in a homicidal way.
Gonna
These two
talk
come
about
off as the
Mizuki and
kind
how many
gals
of the
who would tell
people in the
to
fandom
kill
don't
themselves
see
on
it
the
that way.
internet.
No,
Tama,
Mizuki
as
is trend.
mentioned, is a middle
Mizuki,
school-
Akemi? No. Whatever. Mizuki Project Sekai is literally so fucking trans. You, like, people who say that she is not a trans girl, they are just stupid and missing the point of the game. Like, I can't even bother being nice about it. You are missing the entire goddamn point. What are you talking about? People say, oh no. So here's the thing too. People say, like, oh, this character isn't trans. They just, like, are a cross-dresser. And that's a thing in Japan. And to which my argument is, wouldn't that still count as queer? Is it fucking raining? No. Wouldn't that still be queer though, in some capacity? Like, that's still queer. That's like, I mean, come on, isn't that, like, oh my god. Since where I am, people can be more conservative on this, just common opinion judged by action instead of language. Yeah, no, people, I have also seen people say, like, oh, Mizuki isn't trans, to which they are just objectively incorrect. Because, like, literally, when I first got into Project Sekai and I viewed all the stories and stuff, I thought it was really weird that, like, Mizuki was ostracized by her classmates, because it's like, oh, she, like, I thought the bit was she's just super into, like fashion and stuff, and she's just a super cutesy and whatever, but, like, her outfits were never that, like, wild, you know? They were a little extra, but it seemed more like just someone who's really into fashion more than anything else. And so I was confused, because it's like all she wears is like a little extra eyeliner or something. Why are people so mean to her? With the context that she is a trans girl, and to her asshole classmates, she's a she's like a guy dressing up and pretending to be a girl. With that context, everything about Mizuki makes so much more fucking sense. Also, in, like, the last Mizuki event, it's literally, like, she gets outed by these two assholes who are like, oh, you're Mizuki's friend? Does that mean that you're a guy too? And then Mizuki's like, oh no, I've been outed. And it's this whole thing, but it's like, no, it's fucking... If you do not think Mizuki Project Sekai is not trans, then if you do not think Mizuki Project Sekai is trans, if you don't think that, you are just objectively incorrect and dumb and wrong.
Student, and her story is mainly that she's kind of mediocre.
Play Project
That's okay,
Sekai, it's
because
fucking
I like her a lot.
brilliant.
She's really cute. As for Swim, we're gonna come back to her. Moving out of that messed up group, Calamity Mary is a fun
Calamity
one.
Mary, my
She's
beloved.
an abusive and power-hungry woman who earns magical candies by aiding local crime syndicates.
That doesn't look right.
She's a grown-ass woman who was abandoned by her husband because she hit their child, and, like, man, there's something really compelling about her.
Calamity Mary,
is
my
just
beloved.
such an absurd character, from the design to her personality to her story. Also, the southern accent in the dub kills me every time.
Come on, ain't it obvious? See? She gets it. No one opposes Calamity Mary. Don't cause me trouble. And don't piss me off.
I love
Got it? I'm the one talking, so shut your
damn mouth.
I
don't need your lip.
You know what I like about you? The fact that you probably stab me in the back sometime.
Like, it's this horrible, horrible woman really committing to the bit. We see this one time where she transforms and she does a whole little thing, and God, it's so funny. She's so funny. Mary is very
my
briefly aligned
beloved.
with Nexcaloid 44. She's an opportunist who does what she has to for the sake of survival, which includes scamming people. One of those people being Sister Nana. Now, the most significant thing about
Sorry, this
Sister
topic
Nana
feels
and
somewhat
White
personal to
Winter
me, and I
Prison
can't
is
quite
that they are
say.
gay.
No, that's
Canonical
totally fine, dude.
lesbians. Hell yeah! Though, sadly, that's kind of their only character trait. We have the kind and compassionate high femme Sister Nana, and the butch, protective one, Winter Prison. That's genuinely all there really is to both of their characters. Cranberry, the musician of the forest, is a quiet one, a bit of a recluse. She eventually reveals herself to be scary and murderous. And Hardgore Alice, who easily wins for the best name in the show. She's kind of spooky, kind of mysterious, though literally everyone judges her based on appearances, and that's kind of really frustrating to me.
I do hate that. The plot was spoilers.
Going back to the grind, the way the plot and the death game moves
Yeah, I
forward
think
from
that's
its
fine.
initial reveal is kind of dumb. So, an update is announced that gives the girls the ability to transfer candies between one another. That's cool, but it also apparently works even if the other person's magical phone is turned off. Obviously, this is to drive tension between everyone and encourage foul play. Immediately, Ruler is like, alright, let's go steal Snow White's candies. And then they do that, but oh no, it turns out Swim was planning a coup the whole time. It makes it so that Ruler has the least candies and she dies. Noticeably a much bloodier death than the first person who died via the death game rules. So, I don't know what happened here. And there's a lot going on. The best part about the whole trading candies thing is that it never comes up again. Bodies are hitting the floor now. Sister Nana is trying to make some kind of a line.
Alright, I think I am done for now, even though we're only like halfway through this video. My legs hurt and I need to stand up and stuff. Plus I did some work on the animation. Basically, if someone is treating me nicely in general but not using the right language, then I can't really ask for more. Yeah, that does suck. And I mean, I can't really say anything because I'm cis, but like, I believe in you. You're valid, a Clurtle. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. This is really fun, and I have been really fun. And also, thank you to the one person who donated $100. That was incredibly kind and generous. Thank you so much. Like, wow, cool. That's so lovely. Anyway, thank you for coming, and I will see you next time.